Good evening to everybody, and for those of you who were at the meeting for our Community Redevelopment Agency, welcome back. Welcome to the June 2nd meeting of the Temple Terrace City Council. It's nice to see everybody, and I'd like to remind everybody to please make sure that your cell phones are silenced. And if you would please stand and join me for the invocation and the pledge. Lord, may your face continue to shine upon our city and its residents. May we make sound decisions and always govern towards the common good of all. We pray for those who are sick or suffering in our community. Wrap them in your comfort and hold them up with our support. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. And I know we have some people that don't normally attend our council meetings, although I'm sure you're hooked at this point. You'll all be coming back now. But we do have a tradition here at Temple Terrace that whereby we begin each council meeting with a interesting or historical fact or little known fact about our city or the region. And tonight that duty falls upon Councilmember Fernandez.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight. And the topic for my historic fact is one of the oldest buildings in Temple Terrace. And I see a lot of people concerned with maybe some of our historic buildings haven't been preserved and they get upset with the city for not preserving them. But I want everybody to understand the only historic building that the city actually owns would be the Woodmont Clubhouse, which was the former stable of Bertha Palmer. All of our other historic properties are privately owned. And I'd like to invite Pastor Phelan up to talk about one of the oldest buildings that is privately owned.
Which way do you want me to face?
Right there, okay. Just like that. And let me know when you want any of the pictures up.
Okay, I'm going to try to condense 88 years into 6 minutes. So I want you to know that our church, we're the oldest church in Temple Terrace. We're the original church. We were founded in 1937 by 5 pioneer Temple Terrace families, and they were Tom and Ethel Curitan, Bass and Clifford Richardson, Marcus and Eloise Peterson, Harry and Ruth Roller, and Frank and Corinne Smith. And the reason our church was founded, Temple Terrace had a casino where liquor and gambling flourished, and we did not have a church. People in Temple Terrace drove into Tampa to go to church. We were in the Great Depression. Just as a reminder, gasoline in 1937 was between 16 and 20 cents a gallon. That sounds great for us today. It's equivalent to us today to being $5 a gallon. And so people didn't have enough money to drive into Tampa to go to church. And these 5 families all had daughters, and they were concerned about their future. And so we were founded originally as a Bible study and church school. And we taught Bible study and church school, and the public school, which had a little red schoolhouse at the time, actually met in our facility. We are the little dome chapel. We're the last building, the last oldest building in town for humans, and it is our full intention to continue to take care of it. Just to let you know, the building itself is built out of coquina shell stucco. And that's great when you're not air conditioned. But eventually we got to a point where we were air conditioned and it sucks the moisture and humidity through the walls. And so we coated it with a stucco, and subsequently we coated it with rubber. And so the whole building has got a 3/8-inch coating of rubber that keeps the moisture out. We were founded as a non-denominational church. 3 of those families were Protestants, 1 was Catholic. The fifth was supposedly Jewish, and that family owned the lumber yard. The lumber yard was at Bush Boulevard, or what's now Bush Boulevard and Nebraska Avenue. The reason I mention that is if you come and visit me, we still have some pews that were brought to the church in lumber and a buckboard wagon pulled by a mule. And our church members built those original pews. They're still there. We subsequently do have some padded pews. Our church foundation is that we will celebrate the things that we hold in common, and we will not fight about our differences. And that is the basis for our church. And for all of you who go to church, I pray that we all are always going to be on board with not fighting in church. Church fighting has caused an awful lot of disruption, such that Christianity in America is declining, where it is growing faster in China and in Africa and in South America than it is in the United States. We're going to do our best to keep it up. We're a long-term, traditional, old-style church. We sing old hymns out of in pews. We do not have any Wi-Fi in the church. We do not allow the phones to be on in the church. We do have excellent Wi-Fi in our classrooms and big screen TVs, but not in the church. And I'm thankful that we are still there after 88 years. I have been here 28 years. I never thought when I came that I'd be here this long, but I'm thankful that we are having the opportunity to continue to grow even and thrive. It brings me joy that we have children and we have some young families, and we're looking forward to a future along with you.
And let me ask Brian to bring up the picture that is an older view of the.
Sure.
And that's one of the original.
That's the original church with the stucco made out of coquina shells and a very elaborate tile work over the doors. That is all still there, but it is covered in a new stucco and the rubber coating.
And then also just let people know that this building has been repurposed because it started off as the original sales building for Temple Terrace Estates. And it's just an example of you don't have to tear something down, you can use it again. And it's had a very long life as the Temple Terrace Community Church now. And we still have that building.
Yeah, the building is 106 years old, but we are very thankful that we're still there. And it did start out as a sales office, not as a church. It did not become a church until 38, 39, or 40. We were chartered as a church in 1941. If you have any questions, please come talk to me. I know a lot more history about it, and I'm more than willing to share it. But I know that you've got other things on your agenda, and I really appreciate the clean water myself. Next door to our chapel building is your old city wells, and I want you to know the water coming out of those wells was rainwater 40,000 years ago, and I'm pretty sure there weren't any PFAS in it. So somehow along the way we've introduced things, but I'm looking forward to you guys solving that problem, and I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And that's my
Pastor.
fact.
Thank you, Councilmember. So next up is the Employee of the Month for April. We have Eric Garcia Medina is here. Please come on up, Eric. It's good to see you. So this is always like the highlight of the council meeting. It always goes down from here. So Eric Garcia Medina is being recognized as the Employee of the Month for April. Eric's redefined what it means to be a maintenance attendant at the Family Recreation Complex. His attention to detail and the pace at which he works without sacrificing quality has set a new standard for his position. Staff regularly receives compliments from members and residents about Eric. He not only keeps up with his regular duties and responsibilities, but he takes initiative to find special projects or other areas of improvement additional to his assigned duties. He has taken the initiative with projects such as cleaning up the Lightfoot courtyard, improving the space for senior events, regularly blowing leaves off the family recreational complex parking lot and sidewalks along Whiteway, landscaping and tree work around the family complex, removing invasive plants at Woodmont Park, repairing the tennis shade structure, and cleaning and painting the youth program picnic tables, and much, much more. Eric not only goes out of his way at work, but his willingness to help others is also exhibited while not at work. The other day, a family complex staff member was at Home Depot and witnessed Eric assisting an elderly woman load pallets of sod into her vehicle. Acts like this reflect his caring nature and willingness to lend a hand wherever it's needed. Eric is truly a special type person. He is someone who leads with kindness, takes initiative, and makes a positive difference in the lives of those around him. Congratulations, Eric, for being selected as the April Employee of the Month. Would you like to say a few words? Yeah.
First, I have to say thank you, God, because I'm here today. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity too. And also I have to say thank you to Corey, Phil, Carl. Thank you so much for everything, for giving me the opportunity.
Well, thank you for everything you do for the city. So how long have you been with us?
Almost past a year already now.
Past a year.
I was here before, almost 2 years, and I left, and I come back again. That was the best work I did, left. I'm supposed to stay.
Where'd you go?
I just go back to Busch Garden.
Oh, okay.
Oh. And then my wife said, no, you better sign the application back to the city and say, you're
But
right.
you're back.
And she was right.
Well, we're very happy.
I got her with her 35 years. So.
Very happy that you're back, and I guess we have to thank you for that, so thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Pastor.
Okay. We're good, it's official now. It's on paper. Thank you, sir. Stand up here so we can get a good picture.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do.
I had to reset my password again. I have to today. And I just set it to the same thing.
Okay, we do have one board appointment. The Board of Adjustment has a vacancy for an alternate member. 2 alternate member vacancies on the board. We received 1 application from Martha Lahusky. Is Ms. Lahusky here? I don't see anybody. If acceptable, council, is there a motion to appoint Martha Lahusky as an alternate to the BOA?
Yes, move to approve Martha Lahusky to the Board of Adjustment as an alternate member for appointment from June 2, 2026 to June 2nd, 2028.
Second.
Good, is there discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Thank you for your service, Mrs. Lahusky. Council, if everybody has an opportunity to review our minutes from our May 19th city council meeting, is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
Are there any corrections or amendments to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No nays. The minutes are adopted. Persons wishing to be heard on items not listed on the agenda or on the items on the consent agenda. We do have requests to address the council on the little table in the back of the room. We do ask that all speakers speak from the podiums and begin with your name and city of residence. We do have a 3-minute time limit for each speaker, and we like to assure everybody that your comments and concerns are made note of by the city manager and staff, and we do follow up on them. And so I currently only have one request to speak, but you still have time. If you'd like to address the council, please fill out a form, provide it to the city clerk. Mr. Loeb, you are recognized.
Charles Loeb, Terrace Park. And tonight I want to talk about something, and I know you all have a lot on your plate, but I want to give you one more item I don't want you to forget about, but it doesn't have to be done right this minute. And that is about never forget Telecom Park. What went on there, I have been thinking about that ever since May 19th, what I said about that. To me, what happened to your air actually is worse than what happened to your water, because the water was more generally spread. Now, in the newspaper, it said something like that they have to toughen the regulations because the regulations are too difficult for the contractors to deal with. Strange, though, they must not think we're very intelligent in the newspaper or the EPA. Why do I say that? Because of the fact that only one contractor in this community plus one other community was not able to deal with the regulations. Somehow, I do not think that makes it generally tougher. I remember reading in the paper that the fine was $30,000. As far as I'm concerned, that might as well have been 30 cents. Considering the blatant action of that nature, I would have fined him $30 million and even thought about adding a zero or two to that, to be very frank with you all. Anyway, the long and the short of it is, I think the city council should invite the EPA here. I would love to be the first to tell them that the next time that their miscalculations mess up your water or your air, that they should start finding money from the United States Treasury rather than from the public and local communities. And not just here, but any other place. And I think it's about time to be said. I do not want anybody to view myself as unfair. I would like to hear what the EPA wants to say from either for both the water or the air, of course it might be separate people. But, you know, it might be rather interesting not just to me but to other people. Perhaps it would be interesting enough to be listed in the Beacon or even in the Tampa Bay Times. Thank you and good evening.
Are there other members of the public who wish to address the council? Okay, seeing none, we will move into public hearings, and the first item is a resolution approving supervisory control and data acquisition, otherwise known as SCADA, Phase 1 Water Treatment System Modernization Project. And our Public Works Director, Jason Warrenfields, will explain. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Tonight I bring before you a resolution seeking authorization for Phase 1 of the city's SCADA Water Treatment System Modernization Project with data flow systems. The city's water and wastewater operations rely on SCADA systems to monitor, control the treatment plants, wells, booster stations, pump stations, and our lift stations. Portions of the existing system have reached the end of life and they require replacement. Phase 1 will upgrade the potable water components to increase system reliability, operational resilience, include real-time monitoring and control, replaces obsolete equipment, and enhances our cybersecurity. This upgrade will create a scalable platform for future utility needs and system improvements. The funding for this $200,000 was funded in the FY26 budget from the water and sewer utility budget. The $178,890 additional will come from the water and sewer utility contingency reserves. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Warrenfields. Are there members of the public who wish to comment on this item? Council members, questions?
Yes.
Councilmember Fernandez.
So, obviously, you know, we've had a lot of discussion about the water treatment plant renewal, replacement, upgrades, et cetera. And if we have not decided on a project for that, but how does this particular capital improvement relate to what might need to be done? Or if we choose not to renew that project, how does this factor in?
So this system was required a necessity for upgrade prior to that master plan. So in if the city chooses to accept CHA's proposal to replace and renew our current system, obviously this plays a large part in it. If they don't, and the connection point is with another utility, if that's feasible, we still need these systems to monitor our well systems, our pump station, I'm sorry, not the wells, the pump stations, our lift stations for sewer. We still have to be able to control our assets.
Okay, so this, I just want everybody, I just want it to be clear, this is not a redundant project depending on what the city decides with the water treatment project, but it's also not an unnecessary project if we move forward with one of those variations.
Correct, yeah, this is needed regardless. So this has a short kickoff time, so we are able to, because we currently have some Badger components, we are able to integrate those into our to the new systems. The other piece of this is when we move to the new building, some of the age components in the old building cannot transfer over with ease to the new building. This will allow us to do that through the increased cybersecurity measures.
Thank you.
Other questions, council members? Councilmember Kravitz?
If we buy this system, we need to operate infrastructure on our end in an event where we connect to Tampa or the Hillsborough County system. We'd still need this to regulate all of our infrastructure. Is that also true?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just thank you. That's all.
Other questions, council members? Okay, if there are no other questions, is there a motion?
Move to approve the expenditure of $378,890 for sole source vendor data flow systems for the upgrade of supervisor control and data acquisition, also known as SCADA Phase 1 water treatment system modernization project.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there discussion, council members? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? No nays. Resolution is adopted. Thank you, Mr. Warrenfeld. Next, we have a second public hearing and second reading of Ordinance 1596, amending the Capital Improvements Section Objectives and Policy, CPA 25-01. I'll open the public hearing, and Katrina Corcoran from the Planning Commission is here to explain. Good evening.
Good evening. I have a presentation which will hopefully be on the screen in a moment, but Katrina Corcoran, Planning Commission staff. Again, I'm here to present TTCPA 2501. This is a text amendment for the capital improvement section policies 1.1.1 and 1.1.3. Some background on this request. This is a publicly initiated text amendment. It removes outdated language that is outdated due to not being in line with current state statutes. There's also a policy addition to the capital improvements section as a part of this amendment. Some more background on this request is that some of the language that we are removing includes the 15-year multimodal transportation program, the annual LOS report, and the concurrency management report. This slide shows a strike-through underline of the existing policy language. You can see the removal of the multimodal transportation program, the annual LOS report, and the concurrency management report. One thing I'd like to note with this, with level of service or LOS, the Temple Terrace Comprehensive Plan still retains those levels of service. We're just removing this component because it's not in line with state statute. Additionally, we have a capital improvements policy 1.1.10, which is a policy addition that indicates that the city can continue their 15-year multimodal transportation program for long-range planning and coordination with regional partners. So that's still in there to continue that multimodal transportation program. It's just no longer tied to the Planning Commission's review of the capital improvements program. In terms of agency comments, we heard from Hillsborough County departments, Hillsborough County Public Schools, and we coordinated closely with Temple Terrace staff. We received no objections to this amendment. In terms of the consistency review, the proposed request was consistent with the objectives and policies that you see listed here on this slide from the capital improvements section. And with that, the Planning Commission found TTCPA 2501 consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Temple Terrace Comprehensive Plan. This was heard back in April, and it was transmitted to the state for review. We have heard back from the state and regional agencies, and they have no comments or concerns related to this amendment. So with that, this is open to your consideration for adoption this evening. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Corcoran. Are there members of the public who wish to comment on this item? Seeing none, council members, are there questions for Ms. Corcoran? I don't see any, thank you. Okay, if that's the case, I will close the public hearing and ask the clerk to read the title of the ordinance.
An ordinance of the City of Temple Terrace, Florida, amending the Imagine 2040 Temple Terrace Comprehensive Plan, Capital Improvements Section Objectives and Policy, providing severability, providing for correction of typographical errors, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for codification, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Council, is there a motion?
Move to approve on second hearing and second reading ordinance 1596, amending the capital improvement section objectives and policy CPA-25-01.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I heard the Vice Mayor first. Is there discussion of the motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any nays? Ordinance is adopted on second reading. Thank you. Council business. Councilmember Fernandez, I think you had something?
I do. When we were discussing the water treatment at the town hall meeting and at the council meeting, when the report was first presented, we had some discussion about a potential interim action that we could take that would reduce the PFAS level ahead of any construction. Is that something that is feasible and that we could put into place soon?
So, Mr. Mayor, is it okay if I?
Yes.
Okay.
Amen.
So we are looking at that. We have the team looking at it. There's obviously some costs associated with that and additional costs, because I believe if we were to do a short-term interim solution, it would probably, and Mr. you tell me if I'm going off course here, I think we're probably looking at some sort of granulated activated carbon as an interim solution. It will require, because of the heaviness of our, the hardness of our, it may require us to change out that filtration, that granulated activated carbon more frequently than you typically would. That's one of the analyses that was done as part of the overall long-term solution. So we're just trying to quantify that and make sure that if that is an option, when we can get it, where we would put it, how much it would cost, and bring all that information back to the city council.
Okay, and so do you have, I know it's a work in progress, but do you have an estimate of when we might be discussing that?
So I believe it suggested an August workshop for the city council where we could address a lot of these issues. So that's what, before then or by then is when we'd probably have a scenario for you and get some better direction as to next steps.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Schuster?
Yes, I had a similar question. I had two questions. One was you answered for Councilmember Fernandez. My second one is any status, I know you briefed this last week, but any additional information on the interlocal connectivity with other water sources? Any updates for that?
So we have gotten remind you, this is at the staff level. So we have gotten a verbal no from the City of Tampa staff. We were asking for it in writing, so we don't have it yet in writing, but we've asked for that. With the county, we're still exploring the issues with the county. The county's looking at their provider of water, Tampa Bay Water, to get confirmation from Tampa Bay Water that they could in fact act as a reseller and actually increase their allocation of water and then resell the water to the city. So they're trying to get that confirmation from Tampa Bay Water. That's just one step. If they can get that confirmation, there's still the other calculus we have to go through with connections and disinfectant products and the impacts of that and everything else. So we're working through all that too, and we're going to have the information back to the city council.
I'm sorry, by when?
And we also plan to bring that information back to the city council.
That was the second part of my question. That's the plan, is to bring everything back to the council.
Yes, sir.
For that meeting. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Councilmember Terrace?
This is just for the sake of formality. I said that I would do this at the town hall, and I think it's, given the priority of the issue, that it should be officially on the record as a directive. So I'd like to make a motion that we officially, as the city council, direct staff to explore the connection options and get no's or yeses from whoever it may be, specifically Tampa and Hillsborough County, and also explore a temporary filtration option and to obtain a plan for that or develop one as quickly as possible.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Do we need a motion to ask staff to do that? Is that
Like procedurally, is that a requirement?
That's a matter of opinion.
So just to illustrate, the temporary filtration option costs $3 million a year, potentially. The reaching out to other entities to get yeses or nos from their water systems is something that will be much more seriously considered if we as city council have voted on it and approved that behavior, I think. So in my mind, this is exactly the sort of thing that we should all take responsibility for and also support our staff with, and also put it on the record so that our citizens know that we've actually made a decision at the highest level of the city on both of these topics, that we're saying yes to exploring a filtration option and that we're saying yes to exploring the other two connection options that we might have on the table.
I mean, I'll second this. I was going to request staff to do it, so.
This doesn't have to be a big deal.
Oh, yes, it does. Is
I
there
don't think something
discussion
like
of the
this should be
motion?
sorted out
Is
by
there
head nod.
discussion of the motion?
I mean,
Sure.
Vice Mayor?
I thought we did this, you know, we've instructed staff, they've been working on it. I don't see why we need a motion. We can certainly do a motion, but we don't need one. We've instructed staff, they're on it. At least this motion doesn't have a timeline on it, which is sometimes what I disagree with some of the short timelines. So we could have been done and moving on, but we have this, so.
Councilmember Schuster?
I really don't care to be a part of any kind of new emails, and I'm against or for anything like Christmas or whatever. So we don't need to do this. They've already said what they're going to do. The council has gone to great lengths to discuss this with staff. They know what we're doing. They know where we're trying to go, and the public understands that. This is just grandstanding.
Yeah, I'm not going to support this. I'm probably going to be on the losing end like I was. I know the mayor, Andrew, is the Grinch, doesn't vote it against Christmas. We give direction to the staff. We treat them like adults. They've already made they've already done some of this work. So tomorrow, you get to take credit in your newsletter that you made the motion. Mayor Andrew and Scrooge Gill voted against it, but I'm not voting in favor of this and treating our staff like children. So, and I wish it hadn't been seconded.
to begin with, this is my thought process with seconding this. I do not believe that I'm treating staff like children because I've already asked, they already know the direction I'm requesting. I believe it sends a message to other people who might be watching, other jurisdictions who know that city council is serious about it. That's all. That's my reason for seconding.
Okay.
I'd like to have a point of personal privilege if I may respond.
Councilmember Kravitz.
So the way that this body acts is by making motions and passing them, not by just telling staff things as an individual. And that's all we have right now, is that staff has been told individually by city council members to go and do this or the other thing. There hasn't been a formal vote. The way that government is supposed to operate is that we make decisions together. And that's what I'm inviting all of you to do right now. So if everyone agrees with this course of action, vote 5-0 and move on. No one is making you take any votes that you don't want to take. This is how government is supposed to work. We take votes, we make motions, we pass them or not, and then staff executes on that. We do not govern by making informal suggestions behind closed doors or otherwise to staff. So that's all this is. No one is grandstanding. I'm just creating the legal basis for us to proceed with the filtration solution and with the exploration of connection to other entities. That's all it is. So if everyone is in agreement, vote yes, move on. I'm going to vote yes. Everyone can vote their conscience. If you think that this is a bad thing, then vote no.
That's where I have a problem. It's not a bad thing. It's the process. The process doesn't need to happen.
We don't need to take a vote.
And, well, we have to take a vote. We have a motion, but we would be taking a vote and making a motion when the information is brought back to us, which is what we just talked about. They're going to bring back the information to us,
In August.
We'll vote on that then.
and then we will vote on it then.
Yes.
So this is just all about you saying, I made this motion, and everybody else was, so, anyway.
I don't appreciate the personal attacks, really.
Well, I don't appreciate the grandstanding either.
No one is grandstanding.
Yes, you are. Yes, you
Want
are.
that back?
What?
Do you want to walk that back? Because I think that is a breach of decorum that you once dinged me for.
I
You are
s-
personally attacking me right now. All I've done is make a motion, which is literally how this government is.
And
supposed
since
to work.
when are you so concerned about decorum?
I have always been concerned about decorum.
Okay. Council, all those in favor of the motion?
Wait, before the vote, I just got to say the same thing. This does have shades of last December. And I agree, we could vote 5-0, 4-3, 4-1, 3-2, 2-3, all that. Whether we vote this up or down, the staff's still going to do what the staff does. And yes, there could be some grandstanding, or there could be sending a good message. I don't know. But anyway, I just had to say that. I just feel that if it goes the way I think it goes, and a couple people or 3 people vote no, I don't want to hear that we don't want to do interim stuff and we don't want to consider hooking up. It's just the procedure we're voting for or against.
I'm sorry.
Did that make it clear? For
Councilmember
me.
Terrace.
I just want to ask a question. What I just heard is that if we vote this down 3-2, staff is still going to do the thing that we literally just voted against? How is that functional? Isn't this what we're elected to do, is to make motions and take votes on these kinds of topics? You're saying that it doesn't matter how we vote, staff is going to do something that we just voted 3 against 2 or 4 against 1 not to do.
Right, just one more attempt at it. My thing is, well over the years and in our council policies, we can direct staff, like we've done on many different things, like we've done here, without a motion.
Where does it say that? You have to have a motion. You can't just issue the command to staff as council member or vice mayor James Chambers to
No,
go
no,
and get a
no.
$3 million a year filtration solution.
Did I say that? No. If the council as a group agrees that they want staff to do something, they can simply do it as agreeing on the dais to get them to do something and issue a report. We're not taking any action to buy anything tonight or anything. Anyway, okay. So I'm going to say this again. I will support it like I did before, not to get my name in a newsletter, but just to get this over with. The staff's going to do it one way or the other.
Everyone up here
And
should
I'm
do that
sorry,
job.
I'm sorry to anybody else that may say no, but I just want to get this over with.
Everyone up here should do their job. That's my position on this, plain and simple. Do it the right way, the way that the procedural rules provide for it, not by nodding your head, not by giving informal instructions, by putting your name on the record and taking a vote, yes or no, about where you stand. That's how this works. That's government.
Are we done?
Please, yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Nay. Okay. Can we move on? So, we have proposals for the sale of 2 properties.
Point of order, sir. We still have new business and board reports, I believe.
I'm sorry, you're correct. New business and board reports.
I have a-
Well, that's where we are, but did you have a new business report? Okay, I'm sorry. Councilmember
Regretfully,
Krebs.
I do have one item. So there has been an issue with the chairman of the Riverwatch Task Force, and as a result, I'm going to make a motion to remove Meade Lewis as the chair of the Riverwatch Task Force effective immediately, and that we should open up the resulting vacancy and advertise it in the ordinary course. The reason why is that he has been indicted by a federal grand jury in the Middle District of Florida on a felony indictment charging him with 5 counts of wire fraud arising from allegations that he defrauded investors of more than $7 million and applied a portion of those funds to his personal use. I don't want to make any comment here on his presumption of innocence, which he's fully entitled to under the law. Nothing in this motion presumes the outcome of his case. The city council, however, I think owes citizens of Temple Terrace assurance that those who serve in its advisory bodies do so under no cloud that would impair faith in their work. And I don't think that a pending federal felony indictment of this nature is compatible with that.
There's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion of the motion?
Not of the motion, I have questions of staff after the vote.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? No nays. Vice Mayor?
Thank you. Does the Riverwatch Task Force have a dedicated vice chair?
Yes.
Okay, so that, sorry.
Yes. Yes, he does. Yes, there is, and I'm sure he'll be advised by the city clerk.
Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted.
Okay, very good. Any other new business besides what's on the agenda? Okay, we have considerations of development proposals for 8901 North 56th Street. This is the north parcel of property. For those members of the public joining us or tuning in online, we had a community redevelopment agency meeting at 3:30 to run through these proposals for 8901 and also the other parcel at 8447, which will be the next agenda item. We had pretty detailed presentations concerning each of the proposals. We're going to run through those again because there are members of the public here and members viewing who may not have been viewing the CRA meeting. However, I would ask the presenters to, you did a great job before. We asked you to contain it to 10 minutes, and everybody did a wonderful job. Thank you for that. In this case, we could even cut it down even more. Just not the project, just in terms of like your development history and the company profiles and stuff like that. We could probably cut that down and focus on the proposals and the projects themselves, if that makes sense to you. So I'd like to ask our broker, Mr. Lochner, to come up and kick the ball out.
Sure. Good evening. My name is John Lochner. I work for Florida ROI Commercial Property Brokerage and want to introduce the offers for 8901. We had 4 offers: TMA Investment Group LLC, Enigma Events LLC, Fountain Square IT LLC, and Albee Properties LLC. The order of the presentations, this will be the order of the presentations. This was the order that we received the official proposals during the window, excuse me, during the public notice offer window, which was 3/6 to April 6, 2026. I'd like to introduce TMA Investments up first.
Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
So what is with this thing? And supposed
do I-
to repeat
Just
everything?
one moment, sir.
Shall we do the 10 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Should I get Malad to do this?
Yes.
Should I introduce ourselves and how you guys do this?
Pardon me?
We'll introduce ourselves, my company. Okay. TMA is my name is Atif Wali. I own a bunch of companies, construction, environmental development, and we have a team of 3 partners interested in doing the projects that mentioned by John. 2 of them, which is one in North. I don't know what we have the number in that one.
8901.
8901. That's the one by on 56th Street. The other one is the one close to the river. Okay, so I'm just gonna let Malad say, just briefly what it is, what's going to be, and I think that will be it. It's the same thing, pretty much. Just do it again.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's going to be 8901 North of 56th Street. Right, this project is going to be a development of retail spaces. The way we design it is to be 10 stores, like flex spaces. Overall, between 1,300 square foot to 25, or maybe no, 1,500 square foot to 2,300 square foot each. Again, it's going to be flex spaces, so the use. Am I okay?
You're fine, thank you. Just making sure you had the clicker.
Oh, yeah, I do. Oh, yeah, sure. And keep going. So, yeah, it's going to be a flex spaces, means that the tenant, they're not going to be entitled to occupy the exact square footage that has been built. it could be, flexibility on square footages. Now, this project is intended to have, again, retails and restaurants and to serve the community. There is a unique feature of it, unique to the Temple Terrace, buildings or stores or commercials, which is the rooftop. The rooftop will be used by the stores tenants, restaurants or retailers, whichever gonna allow them to have some venues or some private events or just like some, gathering to bring, again, the Temple Terrace community together and have that nice night view, especially at night time. We are in Florida. It's most of the year, it's beautifully either daytime or nighttime. So this will have enough sufficient parking spaces. The parking space is 100% ADA compliance. We have EV chargers again also on that parking space. We can account for this for generators in case of electricity shortages or energy shortage, and dumpsters for maintenance. So the circulation has been thoughtfully planned and designed this way. The pedestrians, of course, it has been also incorporated into the design from A to Z, means from the facade that faces the 56th Street or Avenue, and also on the parking lot with some outside sitting areas. That's the view from the street, from the 56th Street, and that's the view from the parking lot on the storefronts. Now, all of this, again, as I said, it's been thoughtfully designed. The square footage of the offices or stores, and the parking also spots. That's the rooftop. And by the way, this building and the other one also has an elevator, has been designed to have an elevator and the stairs for evacuation and for exits, also complying with all Florida building codes, safety. Those are the elevations. I want to point something that we are also complying with the zoning code. So the stores are 25 feet height. The rooftop starts at 3 feet higher, which is 28, and the whole building is at 40 feet height. That's the placement of the lot, which is very friendly, community, convenient. So we have the building apartments across street, when we have the other plaza on the left, and across the big 56th Avenue, there is another commercial area. Now, the key highlights of this project has been thoughtful site plan designed with central parking and clear circulation. As I stated already, outdoor seating and active frontage to enhance user experience, signature rooftop for dining experience at a unique open-air destination space, strong investment potential with creative tenant mix, and designed to support economic growth and community engagement. The partners, they have a very strong background on commercial, construction, retails, telecommunications, and I believe this diversity of their knowledge and experiences is bringing also a diversity of the kind of tenant that they can now occupy those spaces, and also how to manage it. Those are examples of the tenants that are already in communication with them, and potentially maybe the tenants. I want also to mention, as before, that 5% of the net income from this building or this project is going to be used by City of Temple Terrace for any future development or to any kind of maintenance or management. The way you guys, and the City of Temple Terrace is very welcome to spend it the way they see it wisely, helping the community. And that's going to be as long as those partners are the proper, like the property developer of this building or this project, which is at least for 10 years, which brings some numbers of $600,000 per 10 years time to means two projects. Okay, that's again, I pretty much that is it. So I want to just emphasize something about the architectural aspect. So the CRA has a book, a design book to go with, and we believe that we design it to the T on that book, like complying with every single letter requirement and code, starting from the modern Mediterranean design language to the pedestrian, to the green spaces, to the open circulation between plazas and between areas surrounding. We took really care of like all of these aspects. I already like mentioned this, I believe so, or maybe on the file, that we are also trying to make it being energy efficient. So that's going to be later on the design, and I will work it with my team, and myself will work this with the city reviewers. And I believe I'm good. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, TMA Investments, Enigma Events.
Finally evening, so good evening everybody. And as my name is Baba Singh, and we are the developers of the Enigma Plaza, which is in Temple Terrace. Thank you all for acknowledging it. It is the light of the Temple Terrace. I'm really grateful for that. We have a small video that we would be presenting for ease.
Don't just look at a map and see parcels of land. We see the stories of the people who live there. Our mission has always been to take underutilized spaces, the quiet corners of a city, and transform them into vibrant, high-quality destinations that actually add value to the community's daily life. You've already seen our commitment to Temple Terrace. We are the team behind Enigma Plaza. As many of you know, that wasn't an easy road. We navigated the height of the pandemic, supply chain meltdowns, and the sudden loss of our lead engineer. But we didn't walk away. We pushed through because we believed in the vision of a Mediterranean-style destination for our downtown core, and we delivered. Our investment in this city is growing. From our upcoming mixed-use site at River Hills and 56th, to our 57-unit resort-style community, and our riverfront food truck park near the Hillsborough Bridge, we are fully all in on Temple Terrace. Today we're here to talk about 8901 North 56th Street. We are proposing an acquisition price of $1,260,000 to bring to life a landmark project we call Social at 56th. This isn't just another retail strip, it's a 30,000 square foot urban ecosystem. We've designed it to be a third space, that place between home and work where people actually want to gather. The culinary experience. Instead of standard fast food, we're bringing in a global food hall with artisan vendors and a central craft bar that serves both indoor and outdoor guests. The rooftop. We're planning an intimate rooftop lounge for sunsets and private events, a sophisticated escape right in the heart of downtown. The stadium vibe. The heartbeat of the project is a massive state-of-the-art outdoor projection screen. Imagine the community coming together for a Bucks game, a family movie night under the stars, or local gaming tournaments. Family connection. Most importantly, we've designed this to be safe. We want parents to be able to enjoy a meal or a drink while their children play in dedicated, visible areas. It's about connection. We want to move fast. We're looking at a 60-day preliminary due diligence, followed by a 120-day secondary period. Our goal is to have site plans in your hands within the first 90 days, giving city staff ample time to review. Once we close, we expect to break ground within 2 months, with a total construction timeline of 12 to 16 months. To make this happen, we're looking for a partnership with the city. Specifically, we're asking for landscape flexibility. Our Mediterranean design uses a lot of palms. We'd like to work with you on tree mitigation to keep that aesthetic consistent. Parking and space. We're already providing over 200 spaces, well above the requirement, but we may ask for flexibility to ensure our outdoor dining and public plazas are as vibrant as possible. Priority review. Because of the scale and the moving parts, we're requesting a streamlined, prioritized review process to keep this project's momentum on track. Social at 56th is designed to be the definitive heart of Temple Terrace. It balances family-friendly recreation with upscale nightlife, creating a live work-play environment that this city deserves. We appreciate your time, your hard work, and the opportunity to share this vision. Let's work together to make this a reality. Thank you.
Seems good.
Thank you, Enigma. Fountain Square TT.
Good evening, council and staff. I'm Charlie Martin, representing Fountain Square TT. The developers, hopefully the developers of Fountain Square. Our vision and our mission for Fountain Square is to create more than a development, but a destination. And we believe we've assembled the right team to do it. It's a place, we envision a place that local residents will want to come to enjoy, but also bring the community of Greater Tampa area to Fountain Square to take advantage of the unique development that we're proposing. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Rachel to get into the details.
Thank you, Charlie. Thanks, everybody, for your time. I will dive into more of the experiential component rather than the broader strokes of alignment with the CRA for my presentation tonight, in the interest of giving the full picture to the public as well as your staff. So I am Rachel Marshall. I represent the architect of record, and I'm honored to represent the team behind the Fountain Square concept. We pride ourselves in creating environments that are consumer-centric, that are engaged throughout the day and throughout the years. Therefore, our vision for Fountain Square was one of being cohesive with the community itself. And allowing the opportunity for diverse tenants and allowing the continuity from Fountain Plaza, which is just north of this property. So this property is located on 56th, and 56th deserves 360-degree architecture. The reason why it deserves that type of architecture is because we want to focus on not only bringing visitors from 56 into this community and into this environment to share in a little slice of Temple Terrace, but it also needs to speak to the community that has been developed behind it. Therefore, in our concept, we have viewed it as a continuous, cohesive development with the adjacent property, and making sure that the environments that are provided are ones that can be occupied by boutique shopping experiences, gathering spaces, additional food and beverage, but not to take away from what is next door. We want to make sure that the needs are met by the community, contributing community members that are already in existence. You can see as we zoom in that we envision something that is at the scale of the pedestrian specifically. We want to make sure that pedestrians feel and the community members feel that they are one with this environment and that they are welcome to it at all hours of the day. This particular concept is held together by 12,000 square feet of public space. And this public space, as you can see in this image, would be activated through public seating, and spaces where people can linger and gather or play. Temple Terrace is very big about live, work, play. We wanted to make sure that we continued that narrative within this vision. Additionally, addressing the 56th corridor, making sure that that also is alluring to people that are passing by. So focusing on the landscape, focusing on the storefronts, focusing on the signage and the spill out opportunities to allow people to see that there is fun happening here and that they want to become involved in that fun. This is also what we are envisioning for the shopping. So the shopping is a promenade, if you will, of experience. It is, you have the ability to come here, have breakfast, do your shopping. Then if you want to linger and have a drink or an evening, you're able to do that. So from day to night, this square will be activated 100% of the time. I will zoom in. As mentioned before, we are focused on this becoming a defined gateway. And so that continuity between the two developments is a very, very core aspect to what we are giving Temple Terrace and our commitment to keep these unified areas in harmony with each other and allowing them to perform as a unit together. And we have the vested interest in seeing that completed. It is also operational. We have paid attention to the delivery route to not inhibit people whenever they are actually utilizing the space. We are making sure that, the Florida weather is under consideration by providing deep canopies and covered spaces for the public spaces so that people can, in fact, get away from sun or rain, but also be able to activate these spaces at any time. This is a view from the 56, just a little bit more enlarged. And these are our flexible leasing areas. And so we have accounted for 1,200 square foot units that can be combined or reduced down to that 1,200 to accommodate everything from a small boutique retailer to larger formats. Our leasing objective is to bring in unique and diverse tenants so that this becomes not only a destination for the residents of Temple Terrace, but also a destination for the greater area. In addition to the first level retail and restaurants, we have restaurants upstairs, as well as a covered shared space of 5,000 square feet for rooftop dining. This is to, again, activate the entire property and allow there to be opportunities for the public as well as the individual tenants. All of this is wrapped in the Mediterranean style that is continued from the parcel next door. And it is one that allows for those open courtyards and the breezeways to then become a nice, comfortable space for people to linger and to enjoy their afternoon or evening or morning at that. And I will yield back the final 2 minutes. But thank you for your time.
Thank you, Fountain Square TT. Albee Properties.
Good evening. Thank you guys for investing all this time today into this project. All right, so just very briefly, I know you've heard a lot of this already. Albee is a commercial real estate investment development firm focused on retail and mixed-use development. I will skip right to our vision for the project. So what we're proposing is a 27,000 square foot mixed-use retail center. We have designed it so that it embraces the street and creates a very pedestrian-friendly walking experience fronting 56th. We've also created an open breezeway about 2/3, halfway to 2/3 through that 56th Street frontage to invite pedestrians off of the street and into the property. As they do that, they'll walk past incredible F&B tenants on either side of them that are hopefully vibrant with outdoor activity and covered seating outside. We've generously parked the property to ensure that whatever retailers end up moving here have sufficient parking for their customers. And we've also pre-leased about 70% of the square footage to what we believe are really strong, best-in-class tenants across various industries, food, coffee, jewelry, and fashion. And that has given, we believe it gives the council some certainty on the types of uses and businesses that they can look to have at the property, while also maintaining the flexibility to bring in additional complementary and synergistic tenants in that remaining 30%, which equates to about 8,000 or 9,000 square feet. That is our project in a nutshell. I'm going to yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
Thank you, Albie. Whoops. Next up are
I think we're going to deal with 8901 first.
Okay.
Yeah. So are there members of the public who wish to comment on these projects? Mr. Loeb?
You want me to sign another form?
No, sir? We know you.
Charles Loeb, Terrace Park. I do have kind of a suggestion. I actually think that they're beautiful projects. I don't think you can go wrong on them. But they might have various needs for various people and all that. So my suggestion kind of to you all is this, if this is the direction you want to go. And that is to go maybe put the presentations online. I mean, just the visual part of the presentations. And maybe you would get input and see, maybe have your public rank them, in this case, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and in the other case, 1, 2, and 3. And see if people would have a distinct preference toward the uses of your residency. Now, another thing that you might be able to get into would be like details. Now, a detail might be something like about maybe suggesting somebody put bike racks or something like that in there, or some other type of detail like that. It's something that you all might want to consider doing, and because like I say, I would frankly, I'd hate to be the one to make the choice. I'm glad it's you, not me.
Are there other members of the public who wish to comment? Okay, council members, are there questions for any of the project?
I asked mine already.
I do have a new one.
Okay, Vice Mayor.
This is for Enigma. Just real quickly, the event space outside on your presentation, it shows no fence. Is it going to be fenced or anyway?
It's not proposed, but if it's one of the city would like it.
No, I just wondered if, no.
It's not proposed. We want people to walk in.
That's all I needed.
Relax there for some time. If they want to sit down, it's a nice outdoor space. So it's not proposed fence now.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions, council members?
Yes.
Councilmember Fernandez.
So actually, while you're here, regarding the use of that green space, is it your thought or that your plan is that it's basically open space, that if somebody is up there, they're going in and out of the stores and people can just be on the green space, not necessarily have to be using one of the restaurants or something to.
So the green space is designed for not specifically that you're shopping in the area. Even if you want to sit down, just relax a bit, that's what the screen is about. So if members of the public just walking in and just say that, we're not going to eat anything, we're just going for the night sport game or something, they're most welcome to do it. So it's open to public. It won't be restricted to people using the plaza or something.
Okay, and then I have a question for you that came up. It's actually, it's for all the developers, but we get a lot of comments about Temple Terrace having a lot of hookah lounges, wigs, hair stores, and smoke shops. So would you be willing to put some sort of restriction, or are you planning to put some sort of restriction into your tenant list that would not include those stores?
So, because that whole strip, we want to have diversification on it. We own the restaurant across, the Mexican restaurant we recently took over. We have about 5 years by the time we will completely break it down and make a complete new one. So we were thinking of leasing it out for a couple of years before we year-to-year lease or something, so we don't waste money on it. We have a Yemeni coffee in our plaza, and there was another Yemeni coffee who approached us for the Mexican restaurant. We denied them, even though he said we are across the road and there are two Yemeni restaurants. I said no, it's Yemeni coffee versus Yemeni coffee, so we did restrict them. And currently we have a lease signed for a hookah place in the plaza, which is an outdoor hookah place. That lease has fallen apart. So I can't promise you in the Enigma Plaza, but here we would have a restriction. And also if we go ahead with that, with taking care of the neighbors, if there's something similar concept, we don't want it. We would rather keep it where it's more of different restaurants, different concepts coming in, rather than having same thing. As I said, that we're not entertaining any more Mediterranean restaurants. We're not entertaining any more Yemeni coffees or any other coffee house, I think, which has a similar concept. If there are some very high-end coffee houses in New York that I saw of, if they would like to come in, we're open to that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other
Questions for any other projects? Well, I have some. TMA.
Yes. Nice seeing you all again.
Good to see you. Thanks for your patience.
No worries.
So, help me understand, well, first question is, in your slideshow, you show some really impressive potential tenants, Ghirardelli Chocolate, I can't remember, but I mean, when you see that slide, you're like, boy, I'd sure love to have that stuff in the city. That'd be great.
That's the main thing.
So my question is, do you have commitments from any of those people, or are those just examples of the kinds of companies you hope to
No, the
attract?
chocolate, yes, we do.
Okay.
Actually, the chocolate that we bring in is 10 years in a row, #1 in the world.
Okay, my question is, do you have commitments for them to lease space?
Yes.
How many commitments?
4.
4? What are they, if you don't?
Chocolate, Cuban coffee, that authentic Cuban coffee.
Okay.
Okay, and a donut, but not your typical donut place. It's an ice cream similar to Cold Stone.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so things that you don't see normally in there. And that's we figured that would accommodate the potential development down in the river.
Okay.
People don't want to come out of the kayaking and go to a restaurant or a seating restaurant. They want to go in there, sit outside, grab some coffee, grab a sandwich or something, and I think that would be more adequate for it.
Okay, thank you. So I'm a little confused about the rooftop.
What's confused?
Who's going up to the roof, and why would they go up there? And I don't understand how that ties in.
The fact that's the rooftop, it will be overlooking the river. That's the only thing. That's one of the reasons that we created the rooftop on that. It's a glass balcony going overlooking the river. Somebody wants to get a sandwich or a cup of coffee, and he wants to go out upstairs and just watch the kayaking.
Okay. Okay. What is your position as the property owner on the use of alcohol in there? What if one of your tenants wants to serve alcohol? Is that going to be permissible?
No.
No. Okay.
No hookah, no alcohol, no smoke shop.
Okay.
None of that. That's definitely not.
Okay. Thank you. Fountain Square. How many times have you made that walk today, huh?
A few.
Yeah. Thank you. So, I heard you use the term, or some variation of the term, a lot, both this afternoon and tonight, of diversity or some form of, you said that word or an equivalent word a lot. So could you tell us what other properties in Temple Terrace the principals of this LLC currently own?
I'm going to defer to wanted on that one.
Okay.
But obviously the store.
It would be just the Fountain Square. Or, I'm
Fountain
sorry,
Square?
Fountain Plaza.
Fountain Plaza, so that's the only one you guys currently have? Okay, okay, we're good, thank you. So, I'm intrigued by the two 4,300 square foot restaurants on the rooftop. Do you have any concepts that are already interested in those spaces?
We haven't decided on the tenants, but the type of tenants that we would like to bring in are tenants that you're not going to find around the corner or, you know, around in every little community.
One of the partners has a hospitality background, so he has a amount of restaurants. So the idea of floating is you have a breakfast place and then you have a formal dining place on the roof, or mixed. You have two formal dinings, or it's a conversion between serving breakfast in the morning and serving dinner at both restaurants on the rooftop.
Okay.
One of the examples of the type of place that we would like to bring in is like Chop House 286, which is a destination chop house with proprietary means of cooking the meats and all choice meats. So, we don't have any commitments because we wanted to obtain the commitment on the project to finalize the deals with the people that we're currently talking with.
Okay. So, you guys are not in ownership of any of the other plazas in the city?
No.
Okay. What about alcohol in this building if you own it?
We're okay with it.
You're okay with that? Okay. So, I'm a little confused, and Mr. Pauly, if you can chime in here, so, I know that the CRA, the goal of the downtown area has always been that the primary front, I know this is hard to, because some of these buildings have two or three fronts, but the primary front has always been that it's supposed to be directed in towards Bertha Palmer.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Now, this building, I wouldn't exactly call the Bertha Palmer side of these renderings the back of the building, because there's activity there too, but it's definitely Class B compared to the other side. I mean, the other side is clearly where the wider verandas, the most activity. I have a couple questions concerning that. One is that consistent with what we've been trying to build in the downtown, trying to direct all the activity inside, not 56th Street? Two, should we rethink that if it's, and then the other is, you guys own the fountain shops right next door. How do you get product and deliveries made now to fountain shops, and how are you going to do that here where you really have two fronts to the building? How are you going to get materials in? And I saw the thing on the south end, but so you park your delivery van on the south end, what are you going to do? Put that stuff on a cart and walk it all the way up? I mean, how's that going to work?
So operationally, that being something during non-prime hours is going to be a operational goal. We also have a center, we have a widened, obviously, entry path where during the lower operation times, you can actually pull and access that center courtyard area, which has the elevator lift and the core to move everything to the restaurant level, and then also separating it out onto both flanks for any of the back of house storage and things of that nature. So you do have the prime delivery spot, but during off hours it can be done at the front of house. But we would like to do that only whenever the businesses are not under operation, so that we don't impede pedestrian traffic.
Do you, thank you, that's a good answer. Greg, do you have any, Mr. Pauly, do you have any?
Very good, sir. In looking at this particular project, it actually aligns itself well with the frontage requirement, if you will, because you are correct that traditionally the properties have been reversed with the primary front facing inbound, but we've always required and strongly, in many cases, we've encouraged and tried to get as much of a streetscape front, even if you call it a false front, you want an attractive front on the street side, knowing that the primary entrance is inbound. The parking and those other access points are inbound. So what they've done is perfectly in tune with the standard of the CRA. It's some of the other properties have relied more on what we might call a false front on the street side.
Okay. Okay.
If I may, we've also designed the building to envision the CRA's expansion across 56th, and that's why we have dynamic facades on both the front end and the back, or back and front, whichever way you
Okay.
look at it.
So, and I know I read the backup material several times, but at this point, it's all starting to rush together on me. So, remind me what other projects you guys own. I know you said one in Temple Terrace, but other?
Yeah.
You want to talk about
Well,
Orient?
yeah, we've developed a warehouse distribution facility on Orient Road. One of the partners owns 5 Kiki restaurants and also Guy Fieri's Chicken Guy restaurant in Wesley Chapel. They own warehouse distribution facilities, shopping centers. They're
What other restaurants? You mentioned one or two. Tell me about other restaurants that are
primarily those 2 chains, the Kiki's and the Chicken Guy. Chicken Guy is located, throughout the country in select locations. And Kiki's was, I don't know, recently bought by Denny's, and after being a local chain out of Orlando, so they're 2 very well-known names.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Council members, other
Oh,
questions?
sorry. Stay. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Okay, thank you
Thank you.
so much. Looks like we're ready to move on to 8447.
Okay. 3 valid offers were submitted during the notice offer period. They are TMA Investments Group LLC, Enigma Events LLC, and Albee Properties LLC. TMA.
I'm not going to take much time. The L-shaped property, the one that's the south part, we're trying to make it, you have not just for 56th Street, you have a lot of houses in the back and a lot of property in the back, home. I heard earlier about the golf cart and all these things, and that would be great because a lot of those homes, it's easier for them to take the golf cart, take the kids, go get ice cream. It's going to be accommodated a lot of the same thing, future development that the city has for the river. It's not, we're not going to have formal restaurants. We want something to be accessible to everybody. That comes from the river, come from 56, come walking distance. It's going to be a community walking distance. Golf cart, absolutely. Even the sidewalk we were talking about, we were looking at it the other day. The sidewalk that connect the side street, go to 56th Street, we know that's going to go straight to the park, whatever the future. Willing to actually extend it to be able-friendly for kids on a bicycle, or people with the golf cart, or people just walking or rollerblade, anything like that. So the main thing, the main focus for that one, to be a local, for the local. Some people come for kayaking, they go there, they have fun, that's it. It's not going to be, you don't have to be dressed up to go to a restaurant in there. You can go in a short flip-flop and you'll be okay. Grab an ice cream, grab a cup of coffee, grab a donut, some sandwich to go, need to go kayaking, go have a little boat. Even ice, we were thinking about having ice machines in there free to the public. Whoever going to go to the park for the kayak area, for the people that comes having a picnic in there. When looking to make it extremely friendly and locally. for the city Temple Terrace. This is the goal for us. However vision it is, that's the vision that we have for that particular piece of property. And the places is mostly going to be local, mostly going to be people who are from here. It's not a big stores. You can have it bigger. It's a vanilla box. You can extend it or make it. Somebody wants 1,000 square foot, wants to make a Cuban coffee, which is we have. It's an amazing coffee. I had the same guy has in Miami. An authentic Cuban coffee, not comes from the machine. They actually grind it. It's an art. It's amazing. And those are the things that we lack in here. Things that's authentic, people has it. John and Mary wants to open a little donut shop. Or something specialty items, not just anything. Something specialty, something unique. You're familiar with armature work. It's exactly, look at that concept in Temple Terrace. They change. An area used to be a dump, and it changed it to an amazing destination for everybody. We're there at least twice a week. I know my son goes in there every weekend. He dock the boat in there, go and eat and leave. So this is the vision that we'll have, for that particular area. That's all I got to say. You have it there. Do I have to put the slide or something? And the seating area.
Slides for you.
I don't know. But gentlemen, this is the vision that we have. We have me and my partner for that particular location. The seating area in the middle, it's more of a community gathering to people who comes in there. They sit next to each other. That's why people talk. People come. Their friend meets in there. So it's not going to be. It's going to be a unique. Almost like a community gathering.
I will say something. So his vision, or the partner's vision for this particular project, it perfectly aligns with CRA vision. And correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you got to talk to.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
I said it perfectly aligned with the CRA vision, and correct me if I'm wrong. All of this with, again, preserving the same modern taste of Mediterranean vibes, from the design details to the seating to the pergola to the type of working in and out, all of that. I want to add something, and it's good, and it's, doable for both projects, is from closing to CO, certificate of occupancy, or even more, to be occupied already by the tenant. We are committed to 24 months with all those development phases. I don't want to speak dollar amount for my partners, but because that's, an internal kind of conversation and analysis, they have all the cash to go for it as fast as possible in construction, and I'm committing myself to do it for permitting as fast as I get the help of the reviewers. So this coffee shop is standing by itself, kind of a nice 2,300 square foot at the entrance for like a special, kind of, as he said, like a coffee shop gathering thing. ADA compliance everywhere, all the way. And also, as I mentioned before, on the previous or earlier, is that University of South Florida, they really want to have kind of a gallery. Yes.
Give me just 1 second. I just want to explain
Sure.
why the coffee shop in the front, because I heard you before. There is an opening on 56th Street, and we're trying to get to the area, to get to that plaza from the side street, not from just 56th Street, because it's going to be a hard turn for anybody to turn into it. So the coffee shop in there, it just kind of it has it, you can get in, but mostly going to be preferred to go from the side street. So that will activate the more active, for the side street, not the one closest 56.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons we had the coffee shop in there or something. It could be, we tried to turn from the 56. It's not easy. You have to block them, especially in a rush hour, it's kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
So that will make it a lot easier for directing traffic to the other side. That's where golf carts comes from there, would be great thing to do.
This project is also having enough parking spaces, actually more than the required number, with EV charging parking spaces. And we can, of course, since we have more than enough, we can reserve some places for biking or bicycling. Yes, and it's also the way it has been designed is to be as attractive from the 56th Avenue as attractive from the front entrance of the stores. You can tell and you can see. Thoughtfully, we were thinking to push it to the back of the property line as much as possible, of course, with the setbacks regulations, all of that has been compliant, for the reason of making some more space as a courtyard, as an open courtyard for the sitting, and gathering. It is fenced with the, it's again for the building code safety compliance, fenced and nicely designed with landscaping, again, to make the whole vibes of Mediterranean style. The 4 different type of stores with their square footages, the numbers of spots for parkings, circulations. We also in here made the zoning requirement of height and features. And I believe I covered it all. If you have any questions, please let us know. We're more than happy to answer them. And if there is anything required after that from the city to comply with any more, kind of design or something like this, we're here for that. Thank you.
Thank you, TMA Investment Group. Enigma Events.
Good evening again. Once again, my name is Baba Singh. We are the owners of the adjacent property, which is the Enigma Plaza. In past, we have bid for this property a couple of times. And finally, we have reached a stage where we can understand what city wants and what people want in there. And came up with a design which is more of nowadays trend. Underpasses make property look more rich. We have a smaller video presentation that we can
We are pleased to present our proposal for 8447 North 56th Street, Temple Terrace, commonly referred to as the South Parcel. Enigma Group is focused on transforming underutilized land into high-quality end-use developments that contribute meaningfully to the surrounding community. We are actively developing multiple projects in and around Temple Terrace, with a strong commitment to enhancing the city's growth, character, and economic vitality. Within Temple Terrace, we are the owners and developers of Enigma Plaza, where we successfully revitalized a previously underutilized building in the downtown core into a Mediterranean-style, state-of-the-art retail and restaurant destination. Despite encountering significant challenges during the various stages of this project, including the loss of the project engineer, supply chain disruptions, increased material and labor costs due to COVID-19, and complexities associated with a grandfathered structure, we successfully navigated these obstacles and delivered the project to completion. In addition, we have acquired the former Mexican restaurant site at River Hills Drive and 56th Street, where we are planning a multi-level mixed-use development combining commercial and residential uses. We also own approximately 3.5 acres along River Hills Drive, where we are planning a 57-unit, resort-style residential community. Further, near the downtown bridge at Hillsborough, at the intersection of 56th Road and Puritan Street, we are developing a riverfront food truck park with outdoor seating and evening entertainment, designed to activate the waterfront and create a vibrant community gathering space. Today, we are excited to formally present our offer for the south parcel. We are prepared to offer the full asking price of $1 million with a 120-day due diligence period. Within the due diligence period, we anticipate submitting site plans within the first 60 to 90 days, allowing the city approximately 30 to 60 days for review. Enigma Group has already conducted significant preliminary analysis of this site. The due diligence period will allow us to finalize design, engineering, and approvals in close coordination with city staff. Should additional time be required due to comments or revisions, we propose that the due diligence period be extended accordingly to ensure a fully approved and well-executed project. Closing would occur within 30 days thereafter. Our vision for this site, which we refer to as South Gate, is to create a thoughtfully designed, mixed-use destination that enhances the downtown experience. The ground level will feature approximately 20,000 square feet of interactive retail and restaurant space, including outdoor seating areas that engage directly with the surroundings. A signature restaurant overlooking the pond will serve as a focal point, creating a unique and inviting dining experience. The second level will include approximately 4,000 square feet of office space, along with a 4,000 square foot rooftop restaurant. Additionally, there is an option to incorporate a 2,000 square foot rooftop lounge, further activating the space and creating a destination for both residents and visitors. As owners of nearby properties, we are uniquely positioned to manage parking efficiently and curate a complementary mix of tenants. By designing for varied peak hours across uses, we can support a higher intensity of development while maintaining functionality and convenience. We have also incorporated a 15-foot wide, well-lit pedestrian walkway connecting the 56th Street bus stop to the city pond area. This feature is designed to enhance walkability, improve safety, and encourage community interaction. Additionally, the proposal includes an underpass element intended to improve traffic flow while contributing to a cohesive and refined overall design. Architecturally, the project is currently envisioned in a modern Mediterranean style. However, we remain flexible and are fully prepared to align the design with a more traditional Mediterranean character should that better reflect the city's vision. Our leasing approach will emphasize diversity in tenancy, ensuring a vibrant and complementary mix of businesses that strengthens both the local economy and overall user experience. To help bring this vision to fruition, we respectfully request the city's support in the following areas. Tree mitigation flexibility. Given our Mediterranean landscape design, which incorporates a higher proportion of palm trees, we request flexibility regarding tree mitigation requirements to maintain design consistency. Parking flexibility. While our plan already provides over 200 parking spaces, exceeding standard ratios, we may require limited flexibility to fully accommodate outdoor dining and activated public spaces. Priority review. Due to the multi-departmental coordination required for downtown projects, we request prioritized review and streamlined communication to maintain project momentum. In terms of timeline, construction is projected to begin within 2 months of closing and take approximately 9 to 14 months depending on external factors. We believe Southgate will serve as a catalyst for continued growth, creating jobs, attracting visitors, and further establishing Temple Terrace as a vibrant destination. We appreciate your time and the opportunity to present our vision, and we look forward to working collaboratively with the city to bring this project to life.
Thank you, Enigma Events. Albee Properties.
Okay, so for the south parcel, we think this property actually creates a really unique opportunity to introduce some contrast to the hustle and bustle of 56th Street. It's tucked in, the bulk of the developable land is tucked in off of 56th. It's almost nestled in this collection of greenery. And so what we are envisioning is a super high quality, family friendly destination restaurant that's almost tucked into the trees towards the back of the site. The restaurant would double as both a full-service, family-oriented restaurant as well as an event space. The event space would primarily be on a partial second floor along with a rooftop deck, and it would cater to events anywhere from 30 or so folks all the way up to about 120 people. The restaurant that we have in mind is one that we have a programmatic relationship with. They've already committed to being in Temple Terrace. Their name is Al Basha. It's a critically acclaimed Middle Eastern restaurant based in New Jersey. They were named by USA Today a couple of years ago as the top restaurant in America. And they have approached us to express interest in being in Temple Terrace. I think they would be an incredible addition to the local community, and we feel that we could create a really special destination on this parcel. Understanding some of the goals of the city, our intent would be to create connectivity between this parcel and the river, the riverfront plan south of it, and enable people to kind of traverse all of these parcels along 56th down to the river. The total building footprint is about 13,000 square feet. That includes the outdoor dining space in the second floor. And we're well parked at about 6.5 per 1,000 square feet. That basically covers our proposal for this parcel, and we're happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Alden. Thank you. Are there members of the public who wish to comment? Mrs. Snelling. Good evening.
I've just been hearing several proposals with the rooftop restaurant and activities, event space, and I get concerned if there is alcohol service and also possible noise. Like if these do move forward, especially if there's alcohol involved, to have conditions on outdoor volume of noise and music and that type of thing, I think would be important. That was all.
Thank you. Are there other members of the public who wish to comment? Okay, council members, are there questions for any of the proposals from 8447? Councilmember Kravitz. No, your turn.
You're first.
Question to the real estate agent who's been helping us. The cross-access dispute between the two parcels has been fully disclosed to the other parties? Between 8635 and 8451? Just making sure that we crossed that.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Then question to the city attorney?
May I?
Sure.
So I know that I've mentioned it too, because there was a meeting that was had with TMA. They're aware of it. I've not had any conversations with Albee about any of this matter, and obviously Enigma is the party involved.
Okay. We should disclose it, I think. That's all. Yeah.
Other questions, Councilmember?
I had one question. I'm a little confused, and I'm not sure whether it's Albee or Enigma. Mr. Chambers, you're talking about a pathway to the river in the previous discussion. Which entity had that? Do you remember?
Well, no, I can't remember now, but one had a dedicated curvy path from their property going east. I was also looking at for more connectivity across River Hills on the south. So, I mean, one would be east. I can't remember. Somebody, you know, Albee?
I think Albee had the
Albee.
east-west pathway.
Yeah, thank you.
From the trash can, from the bus stop.
That was
So
different.
that's Enigma.
That was
Enigma had the bus stop? Okay. I thought somebody also had something that went down to the river. I could be wrong on that, but I was just want to make sure before anybody had anything that was going to the river on that.
So I can comment on that. what's shown in our plan currently, which is still in a concept phase, obviously, at this stage, is the path that you're referring to, kind of heading east. The intent is for that to kind of wind its way through the property and towards the river.
Okay.
That's our intent.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. The last question I had, Enigma.
I would like to respond to that one as well.
Okay. You had the, excuse me, you had the east-west pathway, which I thought was good.
Yes, so although it wasn't mentioned verbally that we have a pathway, but it's, we have a pathway which is covered walkway starting from Chicago, which will come through the Enigma Plaza. It will go through the south gate and it will head all the way to the River Hill. So that would be a 90% covered walkway.
That would tie into the master
Yes,
plan as we
yes.
talked before. And I have one last question for you.
Mhm.
It's your logo. I can't figure out what it is. The red logo, what is that?
Southgate?
No, the logo, your little logo in your.
My logo is a Feng Shui dragon.
Okay, I was just curious. I couldn't
Supposed to
quite
have a
tell.
lot of money inside.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Other questions for any, yes, Vice
Not
Mayor.
just for this parcel, but more so the other one is, I thought of. It's a general question for the staff. For 8901 in particular, would there be any restrictions on events on Bertha Palmer like we've had with the food truck rallies or maybe a small art show? Would that still be possible if any, with any of these developments?
I don't believe there'd be any restrictions necessarily, assuming that, I mean, we'd probably want to coordinate any city event, and I think, Bertha Palmer would, whatever the ultimate, business is that's going to be in those plazas, but I don't believe there's a restriction. I mean, I'm getting the shake of the head there as well, so confirmation.
Okay, thank you.
I have a few questions. First, the TMA group. So, welcome back.
Yes.
So I'm asking about the proposal for 8447, but I'm also, it relates to the companion proposal for 8901. I can't help but notice that both of these are differently configured, but they're the same thing. They're exactly the same thing. They each have 10 retail bays, approximately the same size. They both have the same stairs up to the rooftop, but it's kind of an ill-defined use. I mean, anybody can kind of wander up there. I'm trying to frame this as a question, because, I mean, we have a lot of strip centers in Temple Terrace that are 1,500 to 24 square feet, 2,400 square feet. Are you confident, I mean, about filling 20 more of these of the same thing? That, I mean, you could throw a baseball and hit 100 more of these within the same spot. How are you going to fill 20 more of these, and how are we going to be assured that it's not 20 more of the same stuff we have?
Well, first of all, the design, as I said, it's a flex space design. Means it could be that 10, could be easily 15 or 14 or 20, or it could be reduced to 5, right? So for both projects, it's a flex space. So that's number one. Number two, as Atif earlier explained, that the project on 8901 is going to be for signature restaurants or signature shops or coffee shops, versus the L-shaped one, which is 8447. It's going to be more of the local serving, the local community who wants to do like their individual. It's not like nothing signatures, nothing big names, nothing brands, right? So that's by itself is differentiation on the use. When saying this, means also differentiation on the square footages. So the square footages on the that was given on the plans, that's most likely serving for the calculation of the parking spots, right, and meeting the CRA requirements. Or you see what I mean? It's more of like the final number of the use. But we have to give a number to meet those requirements.
Okay.
after all, the overall square footage of the one-story stores with the overall square footage of the rooftop remain same, which is not going to affect the parking spots, and it's not going to affect the traffic and the people circulating around,
Okay.
right? I hope I answered this. And I want to answer Miss, I'm sorry about, yes, go ahead.
They're both different property, and each one of them is unique in its own. That's why the concept of it, it's similar, but for the use, that one in there, the one by the south side is strictly local. You're not gonna see a brand name restaurants in there. You're gonna see nothing that you haven't heard before. John and Mary coffee shop, Cuban coffee, or ice cream place, or something to cater to the need of that area. What's the future development of the riverside? The other one, it's also still flex space as well, but it's not gonna be. It's gonna be a different use than the south side one. South side is strictly local. That's what we're trying to do. That's the vision that we have, and we're trying to accommodate it and do it in conjunction with whatever the potential PD for the riverside. What I have in mind is same thing similar to armature work, like that. Things everybody knows what it is.
Okay, thank you.
And I want to answer the lady who asked for her concern about the noise and alcohol and all of that. When on our both projects, no alcohol is allowed, no smoke shops are allowed, and no, what is the other one? Hookah is allowed. So that's number one. Number two is the rooftops are not public use, are solely used by the restaurants and the shops there for, not every day, maybe every day, but it's not going to be that crowded. It's mainly intent to be used for special events, or special gathering, or no, anyway, it's not going to be that noise and that like nightclub type of vibration. No, at all. We know that cross street there is those building apartments.
Surrounded with residents.
Yes, exactly. And we did the study of the age of the residents, and they all like kind of mid-age where they have kids, and so that's another thing that we aligned with the CRA vision on our project. We don't want to have any kind of harmful partying style for those residents.
All around.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course.
Mr. Singh, I have a couple of questions. I can't tell from your drawings of 8447, the aerial conceptual site plan looks like 3 buildings, but the elevations look like 1 building. I can't tell what's going on.
So there are 3 separate buildings, but the second level would be connected.
It's a flyover.
It's a flyover,
It's
yes.
like
yes.
a second floor that goes across.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
That's how it is.
So that's an easy solution, thank you. And so what is your position on tenants that want to serve alcohol?
So we are open to alcohol. I guess it's a downtown, and we are completely open to alcohol at the moment.
Okay.
In
If you
terms
had a
of
restaurant
noise,
that wanted to serve alcohol, that wouldn't be a problem.
no, we don't have a problem. It's not going to be on the ground level. Most probably it would be in a sit-down lounge on the top. That's what the plans are. The second level is a lounge. One of them, the 2,000 square feet, it's a dedicated lounge.
Okay.
Lounge would be having alcohol for sure.
Okay, thank you.
And in terms of noise, these would be mid-noise. It wouldn't be so much that it would affect the neighbors.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I do have a question for you,
Councilmember
one
Fernandez.
sorry
question.
about it, Miss Yeh.
I just want to clarify, if you mentioned that there would be a signature restaurant on the view of the pond, if that restaurant concept wanted to serve alcohol, would that be something allowable or not?
Everything is allowable when it comes to alcohol. We are open to it.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm,
Yes,
you
yes,
just
we
said
are-
second floor and.
That's the view. It's wine is something you go in the evening and have it. I understand the concern that we are in an residential area, and we have to maintain the dignity of it. So It's more of a sit-down restaurant, so, you know, we're looking at families coming in with children or maybe, you know, couples who just came out to have a nice dinner. So yes, we're open to it.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions, Councilmember Kravitz?
It's more of a comment. Alcohol is allowed, and you know, it's fine as long as it's not a nightclub or whatever it may be. Personally, I like to go out and have a beer or a glass of wine at night sometimes. I don't come home drunk, and this is part of our pedestrian master plan.
Yeah.
And part of the reason that we wanted that is so that people could walk to the downtown. And if they're walking, they're not driving drunk. So all in all, it's a very responsible concept. I just want to push back on this a little bit. I'm a little surprised by all the alcohol questions. I just want to be clear, you know, Temple Terrace is not a teetotaler community from what I know. And everyone should be responsible with alcohol. Do not get drunk, do not drink and drive. But alcohol as such is legal, and I personally don't have a problem with restaurants in Temple Terrace coming in and having a reasonable alcohol selection. I just want to be
I
on the
don't
record with
either,
that.
but since you're questioning me to explain my situation, my questions were not as you assumed they were. My questions were because I think a glass of wine or a beer is part of Western dining. And some of our applicants have said they have a no alcohol policy.
I agree, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's why I was just going on the record that,
Okay, thank you.
sounds like we agree.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions for the applicants? Okay, well, if there are no, well, are there questions for staff or our broker? Now, we will need to have discussion, I guess, on 8901 first. Ultimately resulting in a motion to do something or not to do something, but this is a serious matter. If we want to have some discussion prior to a motion, that seems appropriate.
Question?
Councilmember.
The approach that we want to take towards this, since do we want to rank our first and second choice, rank our first choice, to come up with the entity with which we want to begin the negotiations with?
Historically, I can't answer that. That's a
Well, just
council
that-
decision.
That's a general question.
Well, historically, what we have done is picked a candidate, or picked none, but picked and said, go negotiate with this. I don't know that there's anything that would preclude us from saying, if it falls through with that one, go to this one.
Right.
I don't know that that's precluded by anything. I'd have to ask, but we haven't necessarily done that in the past, but I don't know if it's that we can't do it.
There's nothing to preclude that. In fact, that if you had asked, I would have talked about the fact that if you chose one, what would you do?
I think it would get a little problematic if we just decided we're gonna rank all 7 of them, and I mean, that,
Well,
we need
I
to,
don't want to be herding cats here tonight, that's all I'm saying.
yeah.
So for the
But if we had one and then we had a backup, I think we could probably work around that. I think if we ranked all 7,
Okay.
1 through 7, that might become a
In the
difficult.
interest of 8 o'clock, and I've been here since 3, I would like, if I could start making a recommendation for discussion and then see where it goes.
Okay.
For the property located at 8901, I would like to recommend that we move forward with into negotiations with the TMA organization. Excuse me, I apologize for my voice.
With who?
TMA.
Oh.
For discussion.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Do you want to discuss each property one by one, or are you saying that you're,
Oh, well, I mean, if everybody likes TMA, we're done, but.
okay.
Yeah,
I don't.
I don't.
that's fine, that's
I
fine.
don't.
I mean, not that I don't like them, I
Yeah,
do like
sorry.
them. It's not that, I like you. I want to have Cuban coffee with you, but I don't like the no alcohol. I mean, part of Western dining here is having a beer or a glass of wine and they do have some good tenants, but I don't know, I mean, I really am looking for some dining. And having more, nothing against the current people at the fountain shops and stuff, it's great, but we got 150 lunch places
Oh, yeah.
and 3 supper places.
Oh, and again, it's a starting point. We can move on, if somebody has another recommendation, we can discuss that one.
I just think that's another strip center like,
That's fine.
but anyway, that's my take, but yeah, council member?
Well, I guess what I will do is say that I have two properties or two proposals that I think are, I don't necessarily have a favorite of the two, but I think that there are positives in both. And one is the Enigma Events proposal, I think, has the green space or the activity space that we have been talking about in the past. And the whole goal of this project at 8901 is to create a destination that brings people into the area who might not live directly here, but they live nearby. And active and something that's a little bit different. So that is a very strong positive that I think of that project. Fountain Square, I also like the breezeway open meeting space and the restaurants that are second floor restaurants. I feel like it's a good use of the space. I don't necessarily, I mean, I'd like to discuss if those are property or proposals that other council members think have merit, you know, the pros and cons, one versus the other, but I mean, my goal in this project has always been to create a destination. A lot of people drive down 56th Street, they drive through the city, but they don't really stop here. So that's what I'm looking for in a project. As well as obviously providing value to the people that live here, places to go.
Rather than free for how you want to do it. I have a question on it. Okay? I don't have I too like the Fountain Project. Okay, that was my second choice. My problem with Enigma is, in reality, comparatively speaking, Mr. Pauly, what's a 12,000 square foot building or space in relation to another store in the world?
12,000 or 1,200?
12,000. I'm talking about the open space.
CVS is 10, so.
Is that what it is? CVS 10? Okay, I wasn't sure what that.
Your average fast food restaurant is 4,500.
Okay.
Double that, you're just under 10.
Okay, so about the size of a CVS. Okay, all right. Then your point that's an area where people could congregate and so forth. My problem with Enigma is so far below the appraisal. That's my concern with it. Whereas Fountain is actually above the appraisal. And I did like the Fountain concept. That was my second choice behind TMA.
My first choice would be the Fountain Square also, for the reasons. I also like the 56th Street presence. I mean, I know it's against what we've been doing, but it just adds to 56th Street and across 56th Street. And there's still the entrances off of Bertha Palmer. So that's my first choice. My second choice would be Albee. So that's it for me, 1 and 2.
Councilmember Kravitz.
Is there any reason why we shouldn't negotiate with all of the proposals? They're all really strong contenders, and maybe we see how the negotiations go, and then.
I don't think we're supposed to do that.
We're not? I thought we just discussed this a minute ago, and it was fine.
No, well, in the time that I've had between the CRA and now, looked into it, and it would be, you would select a proposal. If you liked the proposal, you'd select it. You would direct the city manager and his team to negotiate. You might create some parameters or things that you'd want him to negotiate. I think he'd probably city manager would chime in on that a little bit. And then but you'd only be negotiating with one per property at a time.
So, question back to the city attorney. We were discussing backups.
Right.
So
yeah,
it is
if you
permissible
wanted,
to negotiate with one and then have a backup, or can one also have multiple backups?
Well, that would be up to the city council as to how many backups you would want, but you could have one or more backups if you were to, let's say, rank them, 1 through 4 in this one. They would, if one fell through, then you would go to 2, or you could just do 2.
May I? It's just, I think we've done this, for example, when we hire firms for, sometimes you'll see this, we rank the firms, and if we can't come to a successful resolution with firm one, then we go to firm two. So the concept, I think, would be similar here. What the city attorney alluded to would be, depending on the rest of your discussion goes, you may have certain parameters you want to hit, certain things that were mentioned here this evening, perhaps as, hey, we're willing to do this or do that, and your things you may want. So I would ask that whichever proposal you want to go with, whether it's rank one and you have a second one, or whether it's the alone proposal you want to pursue, if there are parameters that you feel like have been discussed, that you're comfortable with, just please let me know what those are, and then we'll incorporate that into the discussions with the selected party. If you had a second one, and we couldn't come to terms for whatever reason with the first party, we obviously would let you know, and then we could go on to the second one, keeping folks still active and engaged as part of the process. But I would not recommend negotiating with both at the same time. That I don't think would be appropriate and would be problematic.
Okay, thanks.
So, do you want to roll into discussion, or?
It sounds like most people either have Fountain Square TT as their first or second choice. Is that more or less accurate? And then Enigma and Albi are some people's first choice, but there's no consistent trend otherwise. So I think in aggregate, it seems like most people would probably be happiest, let's say, with Fountain Square TT for this one property as the first point of contact. Personally, I have sympathy for the Enigma offer. I do like the lawn. I think that's really neat, but the offer is low, and I think it's a bad look to sell this property when there are higher offers on the table at that price. So since we're not able to counter effectively,
Just to clarify, because that was a question brought up earlier, if you choose one of these proposals, terms and price can be negotiated at that time, but you need to, have selected one to move forward with on the negotiation.
well, if we want to counter any of these, what would the council like to counter with, and who would they like to counter? How about that? Like, let's say instead of taking these as they lay here, that sounds like we can then discuss what we would like to achieve in the negotiation. Is that accurate, City Attorney?
Yes, I mean, you're selecting one of the proposals. This was an invitation for proposals. Proposals were provided, and, there's a lot of things to consider. You were looking at, how it fit in with the city, everything else. Once you pick a proposal, then we would be, and if one of the parameters that you'd want to look at would be the price, and you would obviously direct the city manager to look at that negotiation. But what you're choosing is the proposal.
Does that change anyone? Does that change anyone's
Well,
thoughts then?
just comment, just to throw this out, and then you still have the floor, but I do like the Fountain Square proposal the best. It seems to fit with the original vision of the downtown the best. The second fallback, in my mind, TMA, I'm not really interested. The alcohol thing, to me, I mean, I'm not a lush, but I think that's a big part of what we're trying to build, is we're trying to activate the space. And the Albee thing, 8901 anyway, I'm talking about now, 8901, the Albee proposal, it's very much like the TMA. It's a strip center. I mean, it's just another, I don't see that really activating the space. Fountain Square, it's got 2,400 square foot restaurants. Okay, that's activating the space. Enigma, I have some real questions about that, but I agree that the courtyard, the screen, the gathering space, that's activating the space. So for me, this is a choice between two, not really four. It's Fountain Square and or Enigma, and I think there's a lot to talk about with Enigma on either one of these parcels, wherever we do it. If we're going to go with Enigma as first or second, I've got a lot of concerns about that. Not insurmountable. I like the concept. It's not that. But for me, Fountain Square is, I like that. I mean, it really looks like what the community's been trying to build for a long time. Enigma, I like the concept. I'm not convinced, but I like the concept. So that's, well, you done?
I gave it up.
Okay, all right.
I got a question. All right, go back to the negotiation part. If we make a decision based upon that tonight, are we not where we know we're going to go back and counter theoretically, what was the purpose of the methodology for the bidding then? Or for the proposal? Because you made your comments in last meeting regarding, well, wait a minute, we can't start asking them to, would you raise the price and this type of thing?
Well, what I was trying to avoid there and with the competitive bidding process was I didn't want what had happened last time, which was just basically an auction going on. You're going to.
Basically what?
An auction. I was like, so I was trying to, really, that was my focus at that time, was to not have that happen again.
Okay.
But as I looked into it, it's, you're picking the proposal or the concept, and then we'd be negotiating what is best for the city as far as moving forward with that concept.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're not just walking around the circle, that's all.
I understand.
So where this was left last was, there seems to be a gravitation towards Fountain Square and maybe Enigma. I don't know how you guys feel about that. So,
I mean, I like the active space in Fountain Square as well. So, I mean, in terms of value for the property itself, the depth and the intensity of development with some gathering space, Fountain Square is probably a better value project. I do, however, I like the active space with the Enigma, but I think that it's a better use of the space with the Fountain Square project. So, I mean, I'm fine with that, but I do like the concept of having the gathering space.
okay.
Yeah, I'm good with 1 and 2 rankings. Fountain Square first, then Enigma.
Okay. Or if we're going to rank Enigma number 2, we got more to talk about. You want to rank Enigma number 2?
I have some concerns with ranking Enigma's number 2, but I mean, you go ahead, you have the floor, go ahead.
No, I'm asking you.
Yes. Fountain's number 1. Fountain's number 1, and if there's an issue, we can go back, we can drop down to Enigma, but I have one major concern with Enigma, so.
Okay, so if the motion's going to be Fountain Square, I think it's probably safe for somebody to make that motion now.
Okay.
If the motion is going to be Fountain Square 1, Enigma 2, then we have more to talk about. So,
Well, and then I'd like to make a motion that we direct the city staff to negotiate this for the parcel of 8901 North 56th Street with the Fountain Square TT group.
Second.
motion and a second, discussion of the motion. Did I see you? Councilmember Kravitz?
So if we go that route, I think that's a good idea, but we should probably have a discussion about whether there's anything in that bid that we don't like or that we might want to adjust before we send staff out, so that they have clear direction about what specifically we're going to be asking them to adapt. So as we discuss this motion, it might be a good idea to amend it to not just be a straight accept, which is how it is phrased now. We should discuss what we want to have incorporated into the motion in terms of what parts we might want to adjust, unless the city attorney has an issue with that, or the city manager.
Well, that does seem in keeping with that would be appropriate. Yes, city manager.
So, based on what Councilmember Kravitz was just saying, I took notes earlier, so can I just recite what I think were discussion points relative to this particular project? So there was a concern raised, I believe this was during a CRA meeting, I apologize, it's kind of blurred, about waiving the timeframes, waiving the contingencies. And if you can ask the applicant, but my notes say here that they were willing to waive all contingencies and close as soon as the contract is ready. And then there was also a commitment to match the best offer on the table. believe that was also there. Now, whether they want to do that or not, that's up for the council to have that conversation right now.
That is important to me, yeah. Obviously, we need to obtain the best price that we can. And when the price was dropped, I did hope that it would cause a lot of interest, which might actually drive the price back a little higher. So that would be good. I also think if we go with the fountain shop extension, strategically what we'll end up with in downtown is going to be a large central parking lot surrounded by strip centers, which is fine. That is common. And I think the real center of downtown in terms of where people will enjoy being will actually gravitate toward the south with Riverside Park, Enigma Plaza, and potentially a development there, because that is significantly more walkable and the parking lots are not in the center of it. So one thing that we could think about so that we don't just end up with a dead space in the center of the northern area of downtown would be how to activate those parking lots as we've been doing. They don't have to be dead space, but in order for them to work well, they do have to have some adjustments. They can't just be straight parking. So landscaping becomes very important, maybe installation of benches, trash cans, those kinds of things, so that that area can have multiple uses. So as we negotiate with Fountain Square TT, those might be some requests that we could make that are very cheap to implement, right? Installing a little bit of landscaping or a bench, those kinds of things are relatively straightforward for the developer to do. Bike parking is another example, just to keep that area not just being a complete massive paved asphalt area, right? So we want to avoid that, I think. That's really important. And maybe we can get a little bit of that Enigma magic with that grass area by going that route.
So it seems, council member, that it would be a very easy route to take for you to offer a friendly amendment to the motion to include those negotiation priorities
Yeah, sure.
in the motion, and then if the motion maker accepts those, then they would become part of the, and that guidance would become part of the motion, which would be, I think, beneficial.
Before you, can I have a comment before you do that?
Yeah, but I'm coming back to
Okay.
council member.
Well, it may affect that motion.
Okay.
You know, going back to the master plan for the pedestrian multimodal thing, there was a lot of that already in there. It was already done by the engineering firm on how to tie all those in, and perhaps your motion could read something like, yeah, making sure that it ties in with the multimodal or the intermodal pedestrian master plan that we've already, I think we approved it. I'm 99%. I believe that your point's well taken. This is what we were trying to accomplish with that. And if they just make sure that they tie in with that, then I think everybody will be happy, because they were putting up park benches and widening median strips to make it easier for parking for bicycles and everything involved. So as opposed to reinventing the wheel, it's already out there. Maybe sure that's why I asked everybody, is everybody tying in with the master plan? And their answer to that is yes. So it might make your qualification part of the motion a little easier and simpler for staff to facilitate.
Really good suggestion, because then they already have a skeleton that they can build on.
Exactly.
Councilmember Kravitz, you would be recognized if you choose to make a friendly amendment.
Excuse me, can I speak?
No, sir, not at this point.
Okay, so then the motion would be, as City Manager kindly mentioned, to amend the motion under consideration to include that staff is instructed to negotiate in line with the suggestion made by Fountain Square TT that they would match the highest bid, which is $1.65 million plus a 5% of revenue dispersal to the city for 10 years out of net proceeds of their rental income for the property. That we also instruct staff to negotiate with Fountain Square TT so that the parking lot area integrates into the multimodal pedestrian master plan. I think there was one other point.
Councilmember Fernandez, do you accept the?
Wasn't there one other point?
The contingencies.
I'm sorry.
And that, exactly, thank you very much. And finally, that we instruct city staff to negotiate with Fountain Square TT that they will remove their contingencies and move to an immediate close. So I think those were the three things that were offered earlier. So that would be the addendum.
Councilmember Fernandez, do you accept the friendly
Yes.
motion, or the friendly amendment?
Yes.
You do. So we have a revised motion. Do we have a second?
I have a question before I revise myself. So in the match the purchase price offer, did that include the 5%?
No.
Oh,
It did not.
These are negotiating strategies that were added
Yeah.
to the motion to direct the staff to negotiate towards these things.
okay.
Okay, but in the offer of the developer, I didn't hear the 5% added, but that's okay. I will amend my second for that.
You want to, how does everyone feel about that? I thought that was part of the offer. I apologize. Is
I
that,
asked specifically on that. That was not part of the, was not part of the.
Somebody else's offer.
should we strip that out then? What's the sentiment?
Well,
We can ask them to negotiate.
I mean, my understanding it's a negotiation, so.
Yeah,
They can always say no.
okay. Then
Okay,
no
so-
change.
Then yes.
We have an amended motion and a revised second. Do we have discussion of the motion?
The only discussion I would like to make is to make sure that all of the presentations were good. They really were. But we have to pick one, and this is why, this is the process. Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? No nays? The motion is adopted. Now we move on to 8447, council. We have,
Before we do that, since,
yes,
sorry, since we're fresh, should we have the backup in line right now too? Should we have a motion for that?
Oh, yes, I was thinking they would be separate motions.
no, I was thinking they would be in the same motion. So,
Well, because you said we had more to discuss, so we might not have the same second. Like for me, I would propose that Enigma Events be the second proposal that we consider if we are unable to come to an agreement with Fountain Square. So I didn't want to include that in the motion. I might be the only person who thinks that.
okay, well, we can do it this way. That's not how I thought we were going to do it, but that's okay. We can do it this way. So, we're having discussion.
Yes.
You didn't make a motion.
No, I did
Okay.
not.
Discussion on Enigma as being a backup. Councilmember Kravitz.
I just wanted to point out, I don't think there's a huge risk in not deciding the backup right now. The only risk is that they, let's say, break off negotiations with the first choice on like Wednesday after city council, and then they have to wait 2 weeks to start. So that's really, it's just timing, I think, for the most part. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I have to tell you, I mean, I hate, some discussions are hard to have on television, but unfortunately, we work in the fishbowl, and that's how we have to work. I would not vote in favor of selling either of these properties to Enigma without some very crafty clawback provisions. They've owned that Enigma Plaza, as of last month, they've owned it for 7 years, and it's still not open. Now, their engineer died early on. Obviously, that set them back, which is completely understandable. COVID, supply chains, the world went through that. How many people have come and stood at that podium and yelled at us about doing something about this building that's been under construction since ancient Egypt, right? And it's still not open. I mean, they're putting in their presentation that it's this world-class destination, all that. And it may be, the building's beautiful if you drive by. I won't take that away from them. It's nice. But it's not open. And every step along the way for the past, not 7 years, that'd be exaggerating. They didn't get site plan and everything approved. But for many years, we've taken one step forward and 3 back. I mean, they pave over on the city right away. They put pavers on the city street right away. they threaten to sue us every time they get crossways with community develop, and they threaten to call the media and go there. I love their concept, and I'm good with their concept, and I think their building's gonna be beautiful. I mean, it's nice. I like it. But I would want some clawbacks on this, that if they don't perform and meet certain performance metrics at certain timetables, that we get the money, we give them their money back and we get the property back. We've been through this before. I mean, 30 years ago, we bought all that property and had to buy it back because those people didn't perform, and then we got in a lawsuit and had to buy our property back that we gave to them. So we bought the property twice. I have no problem with their concept. I got no problem with the concept on the other property either. Well, a little bit, but the concept's great. I mean, the big grassy field, the big screen, the overhead stuff. Now, I don't like the design. If we do this, I would ask that whoever makes the motion, it looks like a Macy's. We need something that looks a little more Temple Terrace, but that's facade stuff. I mean, the basic bones of that building look fine. But I won't vote for this unless we have some reassurance that we can hold them to certain performance standards, because they have not been performing since we sold that property. And I'm sorry they're sitting here listening to me tell them, but this is not our property. This is the people of this city's property, and they aren't happy with us right now. And I'm not looking my constituents in the face and saying we sold them another piece of property without some kind of, I mean, how are people going to feel about you guys? All of us. So anyway.
Well, and I don't disagree with you. The concept is what, I do really like the concept. And I would agree that there was a lot of difficulty in completing the Enigma project. And we would definitely want to have elements in this negotiation that protected the city. But I don't think that's impossible to do.
My concern, and I'd indicated back in the previous discussion, to your point, and I said it during the CRA, that they had a lot of problems, and I've blasted them in council, in open session in the past. Looking good, it's getting there, it's open, it's really nice looking. But I too have received a lot of, what do you guys do? What's happening down there? But what concerns me now is not so much the new project, but there's 3 other projects that they're also working on at the same time. And how much of the concurrency could create delays, much to your point, Mayor, on this existing project. The concept, I'm okay with it. I'm not real excited about the open space. I think that's just, it's going to be difficult in my mind to rent those surrounding areas, knowing that a lot of people could potentially be out there and just sitting there in the afternoon, not necessarily evening, not necessarily buying anything. But that's neither here nor there. That's something that I'll go along with the group on. But my concern would, to your point, Mayor, the clawback if they can't produce and get the project done. And we don't have to do anything either.
Councilmember?
I think a clawback provision should be in every contract we sign when it comes to real estate. I've said that before. If there's a total lack of performance, we should be able to get that property back for what we paid. I think that should be a standard clause that we put in every single thing that we do with our expectations attached. That's absolutely standard for me, and I don't understand why it wasn't done before. But that being said, I don't want to get into the weeds about what happened with Enigma Plaza, but I have had coffee at the coffee shop in Enigma Plaza twice in the last 2 days. My wife and I were there. We had wonderful cake, and it was great. You can get a foot massage there as well now. So it is open, and I encourage people to go and enjoy. And it has made a lot of progress. And the paving work that the developer has done on the north side of the parcel is very impressive, where it says downtown Temple Terrace. It's very, it's not just for him, because everyone there sees it, and it also benefits the adjoining businesses. Everyone can see that nice paving work, and it's very characteristic now. So I think he's done a very good job, and it looks very nice. So I just want to, let's not, jump down one person's throat too much right now. So that being said, if there is a lot of contention about who is the backup offer, maybe we don't have to decide that right now, because as I mentioned, if we end up not succeeding with fountain shops, then we can always decide later, based on who's still around, who we'd like to negotiate with. So if it's a big point of controversy, then perhaps it's more expeditious to just move on to the next question.
And I did not know that there were businesses open there. I did not intentionally get that wrong. I didn't know that, so I apologize for that mistake. But, and again, I don't dislike the concept. I think it's a terrific concept. I like the outdoor space. I like the activation. I like all of that. And perhaps you're right, council member. Perhaps that clawback provisions or timetables or milestones ought to be part of every land contract that we, maybe that's true, maybe that's the case. If so, I mean, I'd be okay with the concept. I just want some assurance to our constituents, because I've been living constituents not happy with us for at least 5 years. So anyway, if anybody wants to try to craft this into a motion.
Okay, well, I will make a motion that we create a secondary, we negotiate secondarily with Enigma Events in the event we are unable to come to an agreement with Fountain Square TT. And the negotiation, we would like that to include parameters regarding project completion timelines and repercussions if they're not met, along with a potential clawback of the property. Does that include, is that enough?
I think so. I can think of some friendly amendments that might be offered once it's seconded.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I'm sorry.
Mr. Polly.
I know this is extremely out of character, but the clarity in my notes, does the same conditions that were repeated in the first, such as matching the price?
Well, we haven't gotten to that yet.
Okay.
You're jumping ahead.
I'm sorry.
As I said, there might be some friendly revisions, amendments offered. Right now, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
All right, I'll second for the amendments. Want to hear what they are.
Okay. I would offer to the group, you mentioned clawback assurance. I assume that means like benchmarks, timetables,
Well,
and consequences if they're not met.
Yes, I added, well, I did state timeline and repercussions if
Yeah,
timelines are
okay.
not met.
So I would also suggest that the group consider the price and negotiating to asking price, because they're $250,000 below asking price. And I don't feel like they're in the best position to lowball. So that would, I don't know if I can offer, I can't offer a friendly amendment unless I pass.
You know, last time this happened, for the record, the mayor passed the gavel to the vice mayor, okay?
May I be recognized for a friendly amendment?
Yes, would you?
I would offer a friendly amendment that we include, that the negotiations include that the offer be raised to the asking price.
Yes.
And yes.
Okay, you reset.
Oh, gosh, this is,
You have it, you got to give it back now.
I am returning the gavel.
Give me the gavel.
Gladly back to the mayor.
Okay, you accepted the
And
amendment and you reseconded it.
Yes.
Okay. Are there other offers or other?
I'd like a qualification on this, and this is, I don't want this, I really would rather not have the negotiation, if the negotiation with Fountain Square falls through, we would initiate, we'd authorize you to proceed with the second set negotiation. I don't want to hear about it I'm not saying you would, but I don't want it to fall through and they'll say, oh, we didn't work with them, it's now, we're not falling through to Enigma. How would you handle that?
So I wouldn't just do it out of.
I know you wouldn't, but I'm just saying.
What I would do is, if we got to that point, I'm not foreseeing that happening, but if we got to that point, then I would, at a meeting, I would let you know that we were unsuccessful in reaching the parameters that were outlined in the motion. There may be other reasons as well. Anything could happen. And because of that, then my recommendation would be to just move to the second, your motion that you're debating right now. If you approve it, just let you know that that's what we'd be doing. Assuming you would have any concerns, you'd let me know. If you didn't, we'd just automatically go there. I might even do it under city manager report, one evening at a council meeting.
Okay, just so it's a contingency motion, just in case. Okay, I just want to clarify that.
Further discussion?
He's
or
frowning.
amendments?
He's frowning.
Well, I'm just thinking.
Okay.
It gets harder as it gets later. Any other discussion of the motion, council member?
I just want to point out, we have an uncontingent offer, which is incredibly rare in real estate, especially for something like this. So I think the likelihood that verbal uncontingent offer. So I think the likelihood that it will fall through is incredibly vanishingly small, assuming that they have the cash or the financing in place. So I don't think we have all that much to worry about. So I think we should expect for it to proceed smoothly, if that's all as described.
I would agree. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? All right, very good. Motion is adopted. Now we are on to 8447, and we have 3 offers to discuss: TMA, Enigma, and Albee. And so who would like to open the discussions?
Oh, I will.
Vice Mayor Chambers.
Because I've got some sound recommendations that will not recommend anything. So, first, TMA. I like TMA. I like the concept. I like the site plan, the preliminary site plan, the outbuilding. I like all that. I like the fact that they're going to go for local people running the shops. I think there could be some nice shops that will be attractive to people in the park on River Hills and coming up. That being said, I also like Enigma's plan. I'm not a big fan from the 30,000 feet or 10,000 feet. Looking straight down, it just looks like 3 buildings because you don't see the breezeway between the two, but it just doesn't look as appealing to walk through to get down to the river, but I think that could be worked out. I also think there's some benefits to having the property next to their own property, just some of that. And I really like Albee too, because it's got a signature standalone restaurant that used to be that on that property. So that's given everybody absolutely no opinion of what I like.
No, it doesn't.
But I had to say it all because I'm torn. There's benefits of all of them. So there.
That's it? You're going to stop there?
I'm going to stop there and hear from somebody else.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the gavel.
All right, all right. All right, so where are we going with the 3 of these, ladies and gentlemen?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right, so to start with, Enigma and Albee have the highest offers. So that's already one item to consider. I really like the connection along the Springdale Pond area. I like that it could easily link into the Enigma Plaza walkway. And it also resolves an outstanding legal issue. So I think that that's also a benefit. On top of that, we've been promised a connection through to Riverside Park. And since we're spending a lot of money on that, I think integrating it is important in any way that we can. And it does naturally gravitate much more toward Enigma Plaza and the south parcel, the park, than it does toward the area north of Chicago. So I think that if we can get a really solid integration there where the developer understands that that connection is going to help him, as well as the park, and give people maybe an opportunity to go to the park and then go to the plaza, that'll be really valuable. So those are my thoughts on that. I think in terms of the other offers, I'm always a little bit skeptical of single tenant bids. The success or failure of that project depends on that one tenant. And it's always a little bit uncertain whether that one tenant will remain in good financial health. So in this case, we're not only making a bet on Albi, we're also making a bet on Al Pasha, and we haven't looked at their financials. So it sounds like they're very successful, but we don't know. It could be either way. I'm sure they're very well regarded. I don't have any negative things to say about them. It's the first time I'm hearing of them. But in terms of our own due diligence process, in terms of the documents that we've requested, we don't know whether they are a very viable concern or maybe just less so. So that's just an extra risk factor there. And as I pointed out before, and I'm glad that we've largely moved with that theme tonight, when you have an owner who owns the adjacent property and a main investment, they are really strongly incentivized to make sure that both of the investments succeed and not work at cross purposes. And so I think we did that with Fountain Shops, and I was happy to see that. And even though Fountain Shops maybe aesthetically was not my favorite and wasn't, I didn't like that it was oriented out toward 56th Street, but it had many other pragmatic reasons in its favor. So I don't have any regrets about voting to move forward with that. And I think the similar logic applies here with Enigma, but maybe even more so because the north parcel there has already been laid out so that some of the parking exceeds its limit and more or less relies on the south parcel in order to function. So we've kind of created a situation there that will give us a lot of synergies. So that would be my wish would be that we proceed with the Enigma Group one on this quite clearly, and I think we can work out the aesthetics a little bit. So that's where I'm at.
Thank you, council member. Other discussions?
Yeah, Gil.
Yes, I'm sorry.
At
I'm
the
right,
risk
kind
of
of right.
sounding extremely hypocritical, which I'm not trying to be, my first choice on this particular parcel is Enigma. My second choice is Alba, but they're so close, it's indistinguishable. I love the concept of going from the part of the bus stop. I know I'm harping on that, but that's going to suck people into the interior, the bus stop into Springdale Pond. I do like the concept of the restaurant overlooking Springdale Pond. I think that has, not now, but I mean when it's fully developed and the park is up and running, I think it's going to be a significant can't think of the words, a significant improvement in the area, and I'm anxious to do that. But on the same token, going to your point about Albee, I don't want to start, you're not suggesting we start getting involved in vetting tenants because, with Albash, okay, good. But I don't want to get into that I don't think we should do that. But I would I could definitely support negotiating with Enigma at this point, with Albee as a very close second.
My preferred concept for this parcel is the Enigma Events concept. I think that having the restaurant that fronts the Springdale Pond, which will be improving and integrating into the master plan, pedestrian plan into the park, that aligns with our plans and what we're looking to see in that space. I would much prefer to go with a I don't want to go with a single restaurant or a single tenant concept. I've just seen way too much of that when I was in, with KPMG, and that that makes or breaks a project, and we've already had so much difficulty in managing this full project from the time the city purchased the property, I'm not sure, 20-some years ago. So I would rather have, I just, my personal opinion is that a slightly larger project is going to help us with the viability, but the Enigma events concept is more closely aligned with what we're trying to do for that space. So they are my preference.
Need a motion?
Well, if I can, you Gunn, you want to come back to you, or are you good?
Sure, no, I'm good, but that Enigma would be my first choice, I'll be second.
Okay. So just, my first choice would be Enigma 2, notwithstanding everything that I said before about the, I would want to see some really strict language about the ability to perform and the milestones along the way. I agree that having two properties next to each other solves a lot of problems. I mean, there's a lot of benefit in that. I do agree with that. I like the concept. I liked their other concept. Has nothing to do with the concept in my mind. Well, the problem is everything I described before. The Albee, I liked that too. I was ecstatic when I looked at the backup material and I thought, oh my goodness, we have some tablecloth kind of restaurants coming. This is great. We've been trying to get dining. But I have to tell you, with all due respect, we are out of balance in Temple Terrace. Just like Ebor's out of balance with alcohol and tattoos, we're out of balance here. And we have tons and tons of dining and it's all Middle Eastern. We used to have Italian, Spanish, a steakhouse. We used to have an Armenian deli. We had Chinese restaurants. We had sports pubs, and on and on and on. You could eat around the world in Temple Terrace. We used to be called like the little Epcot. That's what we used to. And because you could eat around the world here. Well, that's changed. And look out that window when we pull the blinds up, and that's a perfect snapshot of what 56th Street looks like now. And it's all Middle Eastern. And I love it. I mean, there's some good Middle Eastern food here. I don't deny that. If you want good Middle Eastern food, come to Temple Terrace because we have some really top-notch food. But it's all the same. And so we don't need another the same. We need something different. We need our steak and ale back or, whatever. We need Columbia. We need something, we need diversity. And so I like the Enigma concept. I don't know how you put in deed restrictions that you've got to go towards some other, I don't know how you do that. You could put deed restrictions in there that you can't have hookah lounges or you can't, that's great, but this isn't meant to be anti-Middle East. If you got a Middle Eastern baker, so that's fine, but the restaurant, we want something different in that space, and I don't know how we can put that in a contract. That seems a little excessive, but get us a great Cuban restaurant. Get us something different than Middle Eastern food. So anyway, I too like the Enigma. I just may want to make sure that we have some strong provisions in there to guarantee performance.
You want a motion?
Yeah, somebody wants to make a motion, sure.
Okay.
Well, let's decide before, are we going to do the backup thing again? Because it's easier if we do it in one motion.
We could do that.
If you want a backup, we don't have to do a backup.
I don't necessarily think we need a backup.
I don't
Things
think we
fall
need a
apart,
backup
Let us
either.
know, we can proceed.
Yes, I agree.
I don't think we need a backup.
Okay. All right, I move to authorize the city manager, the city attorney to negotiate a purchase and sale agreement with Enigma Events LLC for the development of the contemplated project at 8447 North 56th Street. Given all the discussion points we've had about milestones and potential clawback provisions as required or as needed, and the assurance that will tie in with the overall master pedestrian plan that's already been approved for the city. I think I covered everything.
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion of the motion? Councilmember Kravitz.
Do we want to put something in there like, the typical construction run is 24 months? Like if they haven't finished it in 36 months, that we exercise something along those lines, or leave it up to the discretion of the city attorney to negotiate something appropriate? Or
I think we put that. I don't know.
Sorry, you had a motion.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that we put in the constraints and timetables in the motion, I believe. Do you need a better qualified? Okay,
I don't think we do. I think we can figure out
okay,
milestones that would make sense, sort of a typical construction milestone.
okay. That's my motion.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
If there's no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? There we go. Motion passes. Good discussion, council. City managers report.
Oh, jeez.
A long day.
I don't think I've got anything. Oh, no, actually, so, just for the, I guess, for the public to know, as I mentioned earlier, the state legislature did approve moving a constitutional amendment to the ballot in November. That will have an impact on all local governments, I should say all county governments and city governments at a minimum. We will be looking at this with staff over the next several months, weeks and months, and trying to digest its impacts moving forward. The fiscal impacts from this ballot initiative would be felt by the city for fiscal year 28. It would be, fiscal year 28 and 29, they're going to be phased in over 2 years, and they will be dramatic. These are not things that you can just, move things around and make the numbers work. We will not be able to make those numbers work. It will require some significant discussions on service provision and millage rates and things of that nature. So, more to come as we learn more, and that's all I have.
I have a question for you, and, well, I guess it's really for the city attorney, but regarding the proposed property tax measure that's on the ballot. We did discuss a while ago, what we or the city staff is allowed to say regarding that proposal. Could you possibly put out some guidance so that, so that we don't misspeak? I mean, it is going to have a big impact, and we want to be able to give people the correct information, but we also don't want to come afoul of any kind of sunshine law or...
In fact, what I'll do is I'll recirculate the Florida League of Cities. When this started several months ago, they had a handbook put out precisely for this matter, specifically for this matter. I'll recirculate that. That was provided to the league based on consultation with outside counsel, and so it's been vetted, and I'll distribute that.
I will add something real quick to that. The guidance that we got on what we can and can't do regarding the GO bond, the ballot restrictions under statute is not the same.
Oh.
And so I did ask that be distributed. It hasn't been done yet because it just passed today. But the what we can and can't do is different for a ballot initiative than it is for the GO bond. And so, yeah, I was going to bring that up, but thank you for that. Yes, Councilmember Kravitz.
Mr. City Manager, I think there's some excellent news about the TICO connection south of Bullard for the peninsula. Maybe you could speak to that briefly.
I don't have any updates from Mr. Brown recently. You may have something.
The council update May 22nd.
Oh, from the council, oh, yes, the last one.
Yeah,
So-
they're doing the engineering and design.
So they've done the engineering and design. They've also added some reconductoring elements to the plan for, this is for the electrical system south of Bullard. We are waiting on scheduling from the actual folks at TICO to do the installation. We were told that we may know the schedule within the next month, basically. And so once I have the information, I will share it with the council.
Hopefully we'll all be able to look forward to more reliable power down south.
Councilmember Schisler.
Just a follow-up to the debacle this afternoon. I thought that, again, I may not have seen the final version of what was passed. I thought there's a provision for $150,000 in '27. Did that get cut?
No.
No, sir. My understanding is
So we will
that
be
it's
impacted in the next budget cycle, no?
Well,
No.
it starts, right, so that from a tax perspective, from the property appraiser, it'll start January 1 of '27. It'll be reflected in our fiscal '28 budget. And that'll be $150,000, the exemption rising to $150,000. And then in our The next year, it'll be our up to 250,000. If this gets approved by the voters, it still will need to be voted on.
Hopefully not.
Any questions, any other questions for the city manager? City attorney's report.
Nothing tonight.
Any questions for the city attorney?
It's 7 minutes. You could get.
Okay, any other business to come before the council tonight, before we adjourn? Okay, we will be adjourned.